shot. Good. Oh, my. It's a three-pointer. Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
The journey of a college basketball season is a long one. Once you get to mid-February, teams have been playing for 3.5 months, with weeks of practice before that, with months of off-season work before that. That journey inevitably has ups and downs, and Carolina has seen both this year. The Tar Heels, winners of 11 in a row from mid-December to the end of January, have now gone 2-3 in their last 5 games. A level of inconsistency Carolina would like to move past as it heads into the final portion of the regular season and into the postseason. Look, the journey is long, the journey has up and downs, but that journey is not complete. Carolina looks to take a positive step forward on that journey this afternoon. The Tar Heels Sports Network's coverage of the 90th meeting between Virginia Tech and Carolina starts right now. 15 on the shot clock. Tries to lob to Trimble. He climbs the ladder and throws it down. Cadeau puts his defender in the spin cycle and lays it up and over his head for 2. Ingram between the circles to R.J. Davis for 3. Knocked it home from the right wing. If you need a bucket, who else? Well, I thought he was going to slow it up to Trimble. Back to Baycott. Slow that up, baby. Two-handed dunk. Crossover, step back. That's an impossible shot. How'd he do it? Oh, drives it. Bounce past the Withers. Way up in the air for the flush. One-handed push pass to Baycott. He's going to try a corner. 3. There we go. Davis, long pass to Trimble in the corner. He'll try a triple. Why not? Everybody's knocking him home. Back to Davis. His 3 at the horn. Count it! Davis swishes it home at the buzzer.
The Tar Heels Sports Network is on the air with Carolina basketball.
This is Dave Nathan. The February grind continues for the Tar Heels, who are back at home and hosting Virginia Tech. Jones Ains will have the call of this afternoon's contest.
They've only twice since 1985 has an opponent shot better than 60% against the Tar Heels. That, of course, includes Syracuse on Tuesday night in the Oranges' win over Carolina. The Heels look to rediscover their stingy defensive ability against a skilled offensive group from Virginia Tech. Talking about stingy defense, Marcus Ginyard, our analyst, part of 2 ACC championship teams. That 2009 national title team played more than a decade overseas as well.
Man, I wish I could get out there and play some stingy defense this afternoon. The Tar Heels are going to need it. They want to try to finish this journey, this grind of a season the way that they started.
We've got all those storylines on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Plus, Wes Durham discusses his upcoming interview with Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski. We'll bring you interviews with head coaches Hubert Davis and Mike Young. Marcus Ginyard and Adam Lucas answer questions about the Tar Heels, and we'll check on scores from around the country, too. All of that more is coming up as we count you down to tip-off between the Tar Heels and Hokies from the Smith Center in Chapel Hill. This is Carolina basketball from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
Today's game between Carolina and Virginia Tech is presented by Bojangles. It's bow time. And it's time to talk about the Tar Heels. After splitting games at Miami and Syracuse, Carolina back in friendly territory today. And there were some ugly offensive numbers in South Florida that the Tar Heels managed to overcome in order to beat Miami. But a lackluster defensive effort on Tuesday proved too much to overcome as the Heels fell to the Orange. Jones, during the 10-game win streak back in December and January, Hubert Davis's team played with an edge defensively, and they've got to regain that edge to carry them through the remainder of this season.
I think lackluster is pretty nice, actually, Dave, to describe the defensive numbers from the other night. Although I don't know. I feel like Marcus and Marcus Ginyard joining me, Jones Angel here courtside. I feel like had that been a standalone game, you shrug your shoulders a little bit and go, look, great performance by Syracuse. Shoot 62.5%. Only the second time since 1985. Jody Zeugner found that terrific stat for us. And first time since 2015 that a team has shot better than 60% against Carolina. And so I do think you could, if that was an isolated game, you shrug your shoulders a little bit and go, look, they were hot. I get it. But, Marcus, I think the larger issue is that it's 3 out of 5 games now that Carolina's lost. And each one of those games is not exactly the same. But Carolina does not feel like it's playing at its peak right now or close to it. And so I think we talked about this maybe before the Miami game or here before one of these games. Carolina was playing really, really well there in mid-December to the end of January. It's hard to keep that up. You would know this much better than me, of course, for multiple months at a time. I think it's natural that you dip down a little bit. The goal is to get it back.
Right.
And so for Carolina, Hubert Davis likes to call it the discipline, the details, the small things, the not turning it over in the final 3 or 4 minutes has become an issue. That has been a larger issue. Not getting off the slow starts like you did in the Syracuse game and the Clemson game that ultimately cost you. All those little things I do think need to be tightened up for the Tar Heels as they move down this home stretch of the regular season.
Absolutely. And, you talked about playing at your peak and when that timing is, we're starting to get close to that. And so it's not like, let's go crazy, let's get all crazy nervous and anxious right now. It's okay, but this team is now experiencing kind of that lull that most teams might have in the beginning of the season, right, or somewhere in the middle or wherever it may be. There's always going to be that time of adversity where, you got to look around and look at each other and say, hey, man, we got to get better. We got to get this right because we want to be one of those teams playing, late in the season. And so right now I think it's just a great opportunity for this team to get back on track and to get back to focusing, like you said, to those small details because really those are things that make the biggest difference.
And, Dave, I know this sounds like an excuse, and it's something that I've said before in some pre-games here the last couple games. I do think it will be a benefit for Carolina to be at home some here down the stretch. 4 of their last 6 games are at home. The 2 games on the road are difficult opponents, but they aren't long travel, Duke and Virginia. And I do think some of that has been difficult. And Hubert Davis talked some about it yesterday and basically said, no, you got to deal with it. That isn't a reason why you turn it over 3 times in the last 4 minutes or whatever. And I understand that point. But it's also a fact that Carolina is just one of 2 teams in the ACC coming into this weekend that have played 8 road games. The other was Louisville. And so it has been a lot of travel for Carolina and a lot of opposing crowds that Carolina has played in front of. I think Syracuse very much fed off the energy of their strong start and let that kind of ball roll down the hill a little bit on Tuesday. So it's great to be back at home for Carolina today and 4 times in the final 6 games of the year.
Real quick, as far as today's opponent, the Heels face Virginia Tech 4 times in the 2022 calendar year, but went all of 2023 without facing the Hokies. You've got to go back to December of 2022 to find the last game between these 2 teams, and in that game, the Tar Heels were without Armando Bacot, totally outclassed on the boards and in the paint without any real significant post presence.
Should just show you that the ACC is too large when Carolina's playing Miami twice in 17 days and hadn't played Virginia Tech in 15 months. It's just silly the way that the schedule works out, but that's what happens when you have a million teams in your conference with some more coming from California. So from that aspect, it is an unusual opponent for Carolina because these are 2 totally different teams than they were in December of 2022. So it's been a long time, as Dave referenced, that these 2 teams have played. Virginia Tech's actually won the last 2 in this series. Interesting that the last 7 games of this series, only 1 of them has been in Chapel Hill. And so that was on January 24th of 2022. So there were 3 in Blacksburg, 2 in Greensboro, and 1 in Brooklyn. So good to have the Hokies coming here to Chapel Hill. And quite honestly, they have not been as good on the road as they have been at home. And so hopefully that plays an advantage for Carolina this afternoon.
And there you go, being nice, Jones. They've been terrible on the road. And again, wipe the slate clean. It's been a long time since these 2 teams have matched up, but you got 2 totally different teams. Then back in December of 2022, and this is definitely going to be, I think, is going to be a fantastic matchup this afternoon.
Tar Heel fans, Food Line is the proud sponsor of the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game, Food Line Feeds will donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in the Triangle. Virginia Tech arrives to town at 14-10 overall and 6-7 in the league. Outside of their last loss a week ago to Notre Dame, the Hokies really don't have any what you would call bad beats. But they followed that loss up with a solid win on Tuesday, defeating Florida State. And so that snapped a 3-game losing streak. And, Jones, there's no doubt this has been a streaky bunch this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And a team that is really defined by veteran guards, right? I mean, these are names that if you've been following Carolina and ACC basketball a bunch over the last several years, you know very well. Hunter Couture, who's right here in front of us, getting stretched out and ready to go. Long time, terrific player at the ACC level. And you don't love to see as the opponent that he's shooting 50% from three-point range in ACC action, 33 of 66, and coming off a career or a season best 20 points in that win over Florida State. Sean Padula has been at Virginia Tech a long time. He's a junior who's played a ton in his 3 years. And, Marcus, he's a guy that, he's had some turnover issues this year, but when he's good, he's really good. I mean, he had back-to-back games this year, 32 against Clemson, 33 against Miami in back-to-back games where he shot 11 of 23 from 3 in those 2 games. Of course, a familiar name in Tyler Nickler as well, the transfer from Carolina. So they've got some guys who can really stretch the floor and really stretch your defense, particularly out there on the perimeter.
Definitely. And, I'm thinking about, perimeter defense. For a key to this game. And, as you said, with these 2 guys right in front of us right now, we're getting a kind of up-close look at how they're feeling today. But these 2 can definitely fill it up. And, of course, you talk about Tyler Nickler coming off the bench and shooting over 40% as well from 3. These guys that we're just going to have to really keep our eye on and make sure that we're making things tough for them, because we know that when they're making shots, they're a good team. To your point, Dave, streaky, but when they're streaking in the right direction, they can win.
Now, Dave, I do think, Lynn Kidd, the Clemson transfer, he's really done a great job making himself a very good player at the ACC level, and he's shooting 64% from the floor, which is best in the ACC, and averaging 13 points and 7 rebounds. So what I'm about to say is in no way trying to disparage him, because I think he's really worked himself into being a good player. But Carolina should have an advantage down low tonight. And you mentioned last year when these 2 teams played that Armando Bacot was injured and did not play in that game. And the stats after that game really showed it. Justin Mutz, who finally, from Carolina's perspective, has graduated from Virginia Tech, he had 27 points in that game and had 21 in the second half. Virginia Tech out-rebounded Carolina by 14 in that particular game. Now, Carolina's a better rebounding team this year than it was last year. They have more options in that area, and they have a healthy Bacot. So I do think that Carolina's interior could play a large role today, because I do think Carolina, just personnel-wise, is ahead of Virginia Tech down low coming into this game.
Yeah, without Bacot playing in that last game, the Tar Heels return only 2 players who scored in that matchup. Seth Trimble was one of them. R.J. Davis was the other. So it'll be interesting to see at least some of the familiarity between those 2 guys and who they would likely guard, and that's Padula and Couture, who have combined to play in over 230 games, and guys are scoring better than 30 per contest.
Yeah, they're just, you love having veteran guards, right? And that's exactly what Virginia Tech has. And, Couture had originally committed to Wofford and was, but then when Mike Young, who of course was the head coach at Wofford, came to Virginia Tech, he followed Coach Young to Blacksburg. And what a cool story. I mean, now he's played more games than any team or any player ever at Virginia Tech. He was the ACC tournament MVP in 2022, had those 31 points against Duke. We'll tip our cap for that one in the championship game by Couture. And so, he has just made himself into a terrific player. And Marcus, when you can shoot, you're always a threat, and Couture can shoot. He is one of the best shooters in the conference. He's right up there with Gerard and with R.J. Davis and whoever else you want to name as one of the biggest threats from the perimeter in the ACC.
Absolutely. 100% a guy to be looking out for all of the time. Become a great player here in the ACC. And, again, just somebody that's going to hopefully not catch fire today, but someone who certainly has that ability. And, just a guy, again, you just got to put a lot of pressure on him and just make sure that everything he's doing is contested and tough, and he's working really, really hard to get to his spots.
I was going to ask you, I know we got to go to break, Dave, but if you were defending Couture, Marcus, what's your job? Is it off the ball first,
100% off the ball. You want to be in his face all the time. You want every step that he makes to be contested, whether that's him walking to the bench to go to a timeout. I'm in his face all the time. He needs to know that I'm going to be a pest and I'm going to be in his space all game long.
Today's pregame show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official Reed's Jewelers tip-off time is 2:01. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers or Reeds.com. Let's get to our Q&A segment. And for Marcus Ginyard, our first question comes from Myron Henson, who wants to know from a player's perspective, how do you think all the travel has impacted Carolina the last couple of weeks, and will playing at home a few more times in the foreseeable future pay some dividends later?
I think it's a great question, Myron. Coach Davis has said that, all the travel is no reason for guys to miss free throws or miss assignments or whatever it was exactly that he said. But ultimately, it does impact the team. It is tough to be on the road at so much and flying back late at night and not being able to get a great night's sleep and having to go to class early the next day, sleeping in beds that aren't yours. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to make a case for them to have a pity party, but it does affect your play, I think, and kind of your mindset. And I do think that being at home and again, being in your comfort zone, being able to eat what you like to eat before the game and all those little things do ultimately have an impact on how you play. So I think it would be great for the Tar Heels to be home for the most of the remainder of this stretch.
Next question for Adam. This comes from Darcy Weber, who wants to know if it's going to be weird for current Tar Heels to see Tyler Nickel on the other side of things today.
Yes, it's going to be weird. I mean, he was on Carolina's team last year. Now he's on the other team, and now he's trying to beat you. That's weird. When he came out before the game, about an hour or so, a lot of hugs, a lot of high fives. I mean, no one's mad at Tyler Nickel or like, I'm going to go show that Nickel what's up. But it is a little odd. So I think it's something that you're just going to have to get used to in the current era of college athletics. As far as crack research staff, and mostly here I'm talking about Jody Zeugner, can determine, this has not ever happened at the Smith Center before. There's never been a former player who's come back and played against Carolina in the Smith Center. So it's unusual, but the Tar Heels have got to shut him down today. He's a good player.
Well, if it's coming from Jody Zeugner, you know it's got to be right. And we'll probably hear more stats and facts from Jody as the broadcast unfolds. But meanwhile, let's see what's unfolding inside the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, brought to you by Continental Tire. It's the smart choice in tires, and for a dealer near you, just go to ContinentalTire.com.
Inside the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, Carolina back at home, this time to host Virginia Tech in the Smith Center. And I'm with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. Coach, after that long stretch of success, things have been a little uneven for your team here over the last 5 games. And taking a look at those 5 games, what are some common themes that you're seeing that you'd like to see maybe go back in a different direction?
I mean, just, number one is just defensively, the last 2.5 weeks, I feel like at times we've been really good defensively, but, there was a stretch where, we were really good throughout the entire game. And, we just locked in, winning our individual one-on-one matchups, defending without fouling, defending the three, protecting the paint, boxing out, rebounding. And it's not one thing. I think it's just a small slippage in all those areas that I just mentioned. And what happens is down the stretch, those little things add up, and games that that are tight down the end, those are games that we have won in the past this season, and then we come out on the other end because we don't do the discipline and details on the defensive end that is required in order to be successful in this conference.
Coming off that last game, Syracuse shot the ball extraordinarily well, and taking a look at it, did you feel like some of it was your team? Were they just hitting difficult shots? Was it a combination of both?
Well, most of it was us. I mean, we just, we didn't have a physical presence. We weren't physical on the ball. They were able to run their offense like they do and shoot around. They were able to get to their spots, and they did not feel us defensively for most of the game. But that being said, yes, I mean, they hit some shots. The 40-footer by Starling, I don't think he practices that. The bank, and Bell, who went into the game 4 of 18 from 3 and hit 2 threes in the first half. And so, but those things always happen, and they always happen against us. And so, you're always going to get everybody's best shot. And so we've got to step up our game. And as I said before, it starts on the defensive end. If we defend, that opens everything else for us, because we're still not as well, but we're doing a good job rebounding the basketball. It's been 14 straight games that we've out-rebounded our opponent. But our defense, we've got to be better in that area for us to have success moving forward.
Coach, I think it's 4 times in the last 5 games that Carolina shot more threes than free throws in a game. And that's been an area of the free throw line that's been so important to you. How can you guys get back to getting to the line more often? Just
have to be, persistent at attacking the basket. It's something that I mention every day, is that we have, to attack the basket through post penetration and offensive rebounding, and we got to live in the paint, live at the free throw line. And in order to do that, you have to attack the paint, and we've got to do a better job of that. That's a huge part for us in terms of offensively. It opens everything up for us, on the perimeter. And it gets us to the free throw line. We're a good free throw shooting team, and we've gotten to the free throw line more than anybody in the ACC. So that's a strength of ours that we have to get back to.
Carolina will face Miami twice in 17 days. This will be the first meeting with Virginia Tech in 15 months. So, Coach, it's been a long time. Been a long time since you've seen the Hokies, but there are some familiar names certainly on this squad, particularly in the backcourt, in Hunter Couture, Sean Padula. What challenges does your opponent today present for Carolina?
Well, I mean, from an offensive standpoint, percentage-wise, they're the best in the ACC, field goal percentage, and near the top or close to the top in terms of three-point shooting percentage. So, their offensive efficiency is really good. They're a system team where, in half court, they want to run their sets, and they do it with tremendous pace. They set silent illegal screens. They try to do a great job of opening up their shooters. And you talked about Couture, who, I think is one of the best, shooters in the game. And so, from a defensive standpoint, we've got to be locked in. We've just got to do a great job getting through screens, communicating, talking, limit them to one shot every possession, keep them out of the paint, box out, and rebound the basketball. And so we're excited about this challenge of playing Virginia Tech, and we're even more excited to be at home.
Sean Padula just feels like he kind of makes it go for them. How can you make him uncomfortable today?
We've got to make him feel uncomfortable. I mean, whether it's, as he brings the ball up the floor, deny the ball to him so he can't start the offense. You're right. He's the guy that starts and finishes their offense. And so we've, as much as possible, we've got to, one, keep the ball out of his hands. 2, do a better job of just, showing him different coverages, whether it's, putting 2 on the ball on him, making sure he sees different looks, because, his ability to score and distribute, and as you said before, is the key to them offensively, and we have to do a really good job on him.
Tar Heels happy to be back in Chapel Hill facing Virginia Tech, only meeting of the regular season with the Hokies. Coach, as always, thank you for your time and best of luck.
Thanks, Jones. I appreciate it.
And that is the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, sending us to our keys to the game. Take your Tar Heels tailgate to the next level with the new Honda, and see your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. Jones, I know it's a team game, but my key is Harrison Ingram, because he seems to be the guy whose intensity rubs off on everyone else, and he's the guy that can help the Tar Heels reclaim that edge.
Man, I feel like there's a lot today. Obviously, Carolina needs to be better defensively than it was the other night. Marcus, I also think a good start. Carolina, in these recent losses against Clemson and Syracuse, just has kind of been sleepwalking at the beginning of the game. They got to be ready to go from the opening tip.
Jones, Dave, how about a great start? How about a great middle and a great finish?
Complete.
I'd love to see this North Carolina team leave it all on the line from the very jump to the very end.
That's Marcus Ginyard cooking up a winning recipe for us here on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show, which is in the books. We've got the tip-off between Carolina and Virginia Tech next from Learfield.
Reed's Jewelers pregame show complete. Time to get to the ball game. Carolina and Virginia Tech in the Smith Center. this afternoon. It's the 90th meeting between the Heels and the Hokies. I'm Jones. He's Marcus Ginyard. We're joined by Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer. You've heard from Dave Nathan and Adam Lucas. Jody Zeugner helping us out with stat work. John Essick back in the Tar Heel Sports Network studio. Let's get to the starting lineups presented by Coors Light. Coors Light made the chill an official beer of the Tar Heels. Visitors, that's Virginia Tech. They come in 14-10 overall, 6-7 in conference play. Mike Young in his 5th year as the head man of the Hokies. And he's got a skilled offensive group. In the backcourt, Sean Padula, the 6'1 junior from Edmond, Oklahoma. And mentioned this in the pregame. He's had some huge games this year. Had 32 against Clemson, 33 against Miami. That was in back-to-back games. He is Virginia Tech's leading scorer at almost 16 per contest. Also their leading assist man at 4.5. Hunter Couture, one of the best shooters in the league at 44% from 3, including 50% in ACC play. Couture, the graduate student from Orlando, averages 14.5 points per game. Also in the backcourt, MJ Collins, 6'4 sophomore from Clover, South Carolina, averaging 6 points, 2.5 boards per contest. He had a big game against Duke earlier this year where he had 17 points on 7 of 13 shooting. Up front, Robbie Barron, a graduate transfer from Northwestern, averaging 6 points and 4 rebounds. Better than 50% of his shots are threes. So he is a stretch 4 out there to try to open up the floor. And Lynn Kidd, a Clemson transfer, 6'10 senior from Gainesville originally, 13 points, 7 rebounds per game. Now for the Tar Heels, 19-6 overall, still in first place in the ACC at 11-3. They are ranked 7th in the AP poll, 5th in the coaches poll. The NCAA just came out with its top 16 seeds for the NCAA tournament. If that tournament started today, the Tar Heels were the top number 2 seed in the NCAA's bracket. Hubert Davis is in his 3rd year guiding his alma mater, and he'll stay with his same starting 5. Elliot Cadeau and R.J. Davis in at the backcourt. Cadeau has 17 assists in the last 2 games. R.J. Davis is the conference's leading scorer and top 10 in the nation at 21.5 points. Cormac Ryan's been catching a lot of heat for some mistakes near the end of the Syracuse game. He has been shooting the ball better, 6 of 14 from 3 in his last 2 games, averaging 10.5 points. Harrison Ingram, the 6'7 junior from Dallas, averaging 12.5 points and nearly 9 rebounds per contest. And Armando Bacot, who has 4 straight double-doubles, the graduate student from Richmond, is averaging 14 points and leading the ACC at better than 10 rebounds per contest. The Duncan uniform report. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks, bounce passes, and most of all, Duncan. Welcome back, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan. Carolina with its traditional home whites, the Carolina blue, numbers, letters, and trim. Argyle down the side of the jerseys and shorts. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech in road black today with the numbers, letters, and trim in silver. So an alternate look for the Hokies this afternoon. Pat Driscoll, Ramey Steins, and a new name, Greg Evans. Don't think Carolina's seen Mr. Evans before. Those 3 will be the officials this afternoon. By the way, Virginia held on against Wake Forest in Charlottesville, 49-47. So you know Virginia was playing with that final score. So they get the win, and they move, as far as wins are concerned, into a tie with Carolina in the ACC. Virginia now 11-4. Carolina enters this game 11-3. Man, excited to be here in a jam-packed Smith Center. It will be Bacot and Kidd to jump it up, and Virginia Tech wins the opening tip. The Hokies will have the basketball first. And it is Kidd at the high post. Fakes the dribble handoff to Collins, instead gives it to Couture. Tough matchup for the freshman Cadeau. Couture drives in, misses the runner. Rebound to Carolina. Heels going right to left as we see it here courtside in the Smith Center. Ingram tried to hustle it up the court after the rebound. Tech did a nice job getting back, so Carolina will set up in the half court. Bacot high post, back to the basket, pushes over to Cadeau on the top left. Gets a high screen. Virginia Tech blitzes him, so he kicks it over on the right to Ingram. Tries to drive by Barron, cut off at the free throw line. His pass out to Cadeau was tipped away, and as Cadeau tried to get the loose ball, it ends up going out of bounds. Ingram has 11 assists and 16 turnovers in the last 8 games, and he can add another turnover to that total as he made a miscue trying to kick it out to Cadeau. So each team's had the ball once. Virginia Tech missed a shot. Carolina turned it over. Now it's Cormac Ryan chasing Couture. as Virginia Tech works it back out to the perimeter, and Padula. Ingram guarding him on a switch. Shot clock is under 10. Out to MJ Collins. Nice job by Cadeau being right there on the catch. Collins will force up a three and knock it in. Collins caught the ball, kind of bent over, just stared at Cadeau for a little bit, then fired it up and knocks it in. Virginia Tech makes a bunch of threes. They average 8.5 per game. That's third best in the ACC, and they're up 3-0. Ingram in the right corner for Carolina. Out to R.J. Davis. Tar Heels really not being able to get much going here offensively early on. Hadn't even been able to really get inside the paint. Cadeau has it in the left corner, and he turns it over as he tries to float it down low to Baycott. So here come the Hokies the other way, and MJ Collins in transition has all 5 of Virginia Tech's points. Carolina, another slow start. It's been hurting the Heels as of late. Still a long way to go here. Only down 5, but have not even gotten a shot yet on its first 2 possessions. Baycott has it straight away, 16 feet, hands off to R.J. Davis. He'll try a 3, too strong off the back iron, and a rebounding foul going to be called on Virginia Tech. Somebody got a hold of Baycott. Foul's called on Lynn Kidd, his first. And so Carolina will inbound. And Marcus, so far, 3 possessions, 2 turnovers, and a missed 3. Not exactly what the Heels wanted.
Definitely not the start that we were hoping for in this game. And to your point, just don't seem to be getting things going. I mean, missed shots are okay, but just getting in the rhythm is what North Carolina needs to do right now. Maligel
Poteet has checked in for Kidd after that early foul as R.J. Davis drives, kicks it in the corner to Cadeau. Feet set, left corner 3 is short. Poteet with the rebound. So the Tar Heels have taken 2 shots, both of them threes, and they've turned it over twice. And Virginia Tech, as you can imagine hearing those Lenovo stats, leads it 5-0. Cador outside the arc, kicks it out to Padula, and there's going to be an illegal screen on Couture. Padula shot a 3 that spun out, but Couture, after he kicked it out to Padula, ran into R.J. Davis. Pretty clear moving screen. And the foul on Cador will be a turnover, give it to Carolina. So still 5-0. Tech on top, 17:38 to go first half. Heels uneven here as of late. 2-3 in their last 5 games, looking for a better outcome this afternoon back at home. Deep on the right side, it's Ryan. Gets it in the post. Baycott drives baseline, whips it left corner to Cadeau. Carolina works it back around to Ryan. Wide open for 3, and he strips the net. So every shot's been a 3, but that one went in. 5-3, Tar Heels down 2. Ryan now 7 of his last 15 from behind the arc. Padula in the half court for Virginia Tech to Couture. Stutter step and drive. Couture can't finish. Rebound tipped by Ingram into R.J. Davis's hand. Heels on the run down 2. Davis crossover. Gets to the free throw line. Out to Ingram. Pump fake for 3. Tries to drive. Can't do it. Nice job by Virginia Tech. Heels will have to set up on the offensive side. Ingram tries to spin by Barron. Gets into the paint and he's hacked. Barron just grabbed hold of his arm and pulled down. And in fact, Ingram circling out his shoulder as that was an awkward looking foul on Barron. And see if it's going to result in shots or not. It will. So Ingram's going to go to the free throw line. The foul on Barron, his first. Already 3 on Virginia Tech. And Ingram, you were with us for Miami. You remember it's been a journey at the line as of late for Ingram. And, boy, he kissed every part of the rim before that one went in. He is now 11 of his last 26 from the free throw line. 5-4 after that one goes home. Second one for Ingram. Yeah, boy. Well, he's going to make sure that rim's active as that one rolled around but dropped in as well. So it's 5-5 as Ingram gets them both. Here comes Virginia Tech the other way. Carolina has scored 5 straight after Virginia Tech scored the first 5 of the ball game. Barron over to Collins, who has all 5 for the Hokies. Whips it down low to Poteet, the reserve big man, backing in against Baycott. His hook shot off the mark. Ingram, another rebound. He's been active on the glass early on. Ingram right down the center of the floor. Nobody ever stopped him, so he goes to the ACC logo and pushes it in. What great push ahead there, Marcus, by Ingram.
Great tempo, great rebound, finishing the play, getting it all the way up the court for the finish.
Yeah, that's something he can do because he can handle the ball. So if he gets the rebound and goes, he can run that break almost single-handedly. Padula around a high screen, gets to the low right block. His follow-away against Cadeau is short. Cadeau picks up the rebound on a bounce. Heels on the run. R.J. Davis back to Cadeau. Ingram is open right wing. Gets it. Kicks it right corner to Ryan. His 3 bounces off the mark. Good closeout by Couture to make that one tough. 7-5. Carolina with the lead. As Seth Trimble will come to the scores table, as will Jalen Withers for the Tar Heels. Cador around a screen. Off the mark on a 3. Baycott uncontested for the board. Heels up by 2 and on the move. Heels on a 7-0 run after they trailed 5-0. they'll have to slow it down. Tech's done a nice job getting back in transition, other than that one time Ingram got the easy look. Cadeau whips it left corner. R.J. Davis wide open for three. In and out. Ingram with the rebound, though. Powers his way back up for the bucket, and he's heading to the line. The foul on Poteet and Harrison Ingram. That is already rebound number 4. He has 6 points and 4 rebounds early on. Carolina on a 9-0 run. Ingram will try to make it 10 at the line when we return. So the foul on Poteet, his first, 4th on the Hokies. Heels up 9-5 from Learfield. Carolina with the lead over Virginia Tech. 15:25 to go first half. Tar Heels on a 9-0 run after the Hokies scored the first 5 points of the ball game. And Ingram will try to make it a 10-0 run at the free throw line when action resumes. Our game today brought to you by Bojangles. They're a presenting sponsor this afternoon. It's always Bow time, of course. And we're brought to you in part by Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Jones Angel and Marcus Ginyard with you here courtside in Chapel Hill. And Marcus, Harrison Ingram's gone over 1,000 points now for his college career with 6 points and 4 rebounds already here in the first 4:35. I'll give our broadcast partner Dave Nathan credit. He said a big key would be Ingram's energy, and he has certainly brought energy and production here early on.
Absolutely. You know, at the beginning of this season, Jones, everybody asked me, what do you think about Harrison Ingram? And I always said that I think he's our most important player. Maybe not our best player per se, but most important player. When you see a guy that can defend the way he defends, can handle the basketball, can score inside like we saw on the post-up getting fouled, can score outside, has a beautiful mid-range game that we saw right there, just that floater from the ACC, just somebody that can impact the game in so many different ways. He's just such a crucial part of this team's success.
You know, he's got that little shock of blonde hair at the front of his hair. I asked him about it. He said, I did it in high school and my mom hated it. He said, but now I'm 21, so I'm going to do what I want.
Hey,
so
he's been playing well with it, so let's keep it.
Free throw is up and good. So Ingram also 3 of 3 at the free throw line. So Tar Heels now on a 10-0 run. Tyler Nickel is into the game for the first time for Virginia Tech. Of course, the Tar Heel transfer, as Trimble and Withers have entered for Carolina for the first time. We'll set the 5 for you for the Tar Heels. Davis, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. As Collins, who has all the points for Virginia Tech. Boy, a tough challenge. 2-pointer is good. Stops the 10-0 run. Trimble was right there in his face, but Collins knocks it in. So Collins has already surpassed his season average of 6 points per game. He has 7. Withers deep against Nickel. His hook shot is good. It crawled around as he got it in the post and fell in. So Withers gets the early bucket. Withers showed some signs of life off the bench the other day as Buddy on defensively leaves Nickel alone, and you can't do that. We know that from experience as Nickel rattles in the 3. Withers just got lost, and Nickel makes it 12-10 after the Tar Heels had briefly gone up 5 on the Withers bucket. Davis floats it to a cutting Baycott, right of the lane. Double team is there. He goes up over it with the hook shot. Won't go. Withers battling for the rebound. Tipped it up. No good, but then he knocked it away from Virginia Tech into the hands of Baycott. So Carolina will keep possession. R.J. Davis on the perimeter. Over to Seth Trimble deep on the left. But Nichols trying to guard Baycott in the post. That's going to be tough as Trimble drives against his defender Poteet and draws the foul. So Virginia Tech had gotten out of whack there defensively after Withers got the tip away. That had Nickel guarding Baycott, Poteet on Trimble, and Trimble drove against the bigger player. That's the second foul on Poteet and 5th already on Virginia Tech, and they are going to say that's a shooting foul. So Trimble, who is 62%, but just 3 of his last 7 this year at the line, is going to go to the stripe. The officials are telling Poteet that he can't check out just yet because it's a 2-shot foul. But I tell you what, man, Poteet, who's a transfer from Rice, 6'9", 265. He looks every bit of that. That's a big boy down there, Mark.
He is a big boy. And, you know, having spent some time in France, I speak a little French, and I'm thinking about Petite being small, and let me tell you, he is not small.
This is 2 shots for Trimble with 14:07 to go, and free throws good. So that makes it 13-10 Carolina. So Kidd will return with 1 foul. Poteet sits down with 2 fouls. Also a foul on Barron and Couture so far. Carolina's not been called for a foul thus far in the first nearly 6 minutes of the game.
13-10 our score. Trimble with one more free throw, which he knocks in. So already Ingram has 7 for Carolina. Has some full court pressure, bothers Virginia Tech, but a foul on R.J. Davis as he bumped into Couture right when Nickel was able to get it in to beat the 5-second count. So first foul on Carolina goes to R.J. Davis. 7 for Ingram, but then you have 2 points for Withers, 2 points for Trimble, 3 points for Ryan as well. Carolina spreading out that scoring sum, so neither Baycott nor Davis has scored, and the Tar Heels lead it 14-10. Collins comes front side against R.J. Davis. We've gone under 14 minutes to play, first half in the Smith Center. Couture bounce past the Kid, back to the basket, almost at the three-point line. To Padula. Trimble had lost his footing. Padula had an open look at three, didn't take it. Instead goes to Nickel, and Nickel knocks in another three. So the Carolina transfer has hit 2 3-pointers. He is now 9 of his last 14 from three-point range. Double team comes against Baycott, has to bounce it out to R.J. Davis in the right corner. And a foul is called, I think, on Couture for being in R.J. Davis's vertical space when he made the catch. That's 2 on Couture. And Marcus Jalen Withers is going to check out as Ryan comes in. Cadeau will replace R.J. Davis. Washington comes in for Baycott. Withers did some good things. He tipped the ball. He kept ball. He had a bucket. But he also left Tyler Nickel open twice. You just got to have it on both sides.
You know, I could tell you before anybody came up to the scores table that he'd be checking out. Tyler Nickel is just a guy you cannot lose, especially in a game like this where you know he wants to play well, but that doesn't matter. He's a great shooter. You got to be on him.
So Carolina now has Cadeau, Trimble, Ryan as Cadeau drives in, kicks it out to an open Cormac Ryan for another three. Ryan has hit 2 from the same spot at that right wing, and they've both gone right in the heart of the cup. So it's 17-13, Carolina by 4. So again, that lineup, Cadeau, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Jalen Washington, the 5 on the floor for the Tar Heels. Nickel dumps it in the post to Lynn Kidd, trying to back in on the left side against Washington. Oh, just spun by him baseline and hooked it in. Washington was deep in his defensive crouch, but was shading towards the middle of the paint, and Kidd spun the other way, and it had an uncontested layup, 17-15. Carolina up 2. Ingram trying to back in against Nickel on the right baseline. Getting deep. He's in the paint. Turns around. His hook shot won't go, but he tips the rebound out to Ryan. Extra pass to an open Cadeau. His 3 on line, but short. Ingram battles for the rebound, and that battle earns a foul as he had tipped it once, and then Jaden Young, a freshman for Virginia Tech who had checked in, had secured it after Ingram tipped it once. Ingram kept after it, and because of that, picked up his first foul. So second on Carolina. Virginia Tech has made its last 4 shots, and that's allowed the Hokies to stick around with Carolina, who's also shooting well at 54.5%. 17-15 as Young's going to get an open look. No good off the back iron for 3 straight on. Cormac Ryan with the long rebound. Ryan dribbles all the way into the right corner, sends the pass up the sideline to Trimble. To Washington, hands it right back to Ryan. Flips it down low to Washington, who gets the hammer dunk. Nice action there by Carolina. Got an open look from their young big man in the post. 19-15. Another bench point for the Tar Heels as Padula on the drive. Kicks it out to Kidd. This time he spins against Washington and can't finish. Ingram with the rebound. Heels on the run, up 4. Cadeau, cross court to Trimble left side. Tries to attack the paint. Is cut off nicely by Young. So he goes baseline. Right corner, Ingram, 3. Back iron, no. Rebound to Virginia Tech's M.J. Collins. 19-15. Heels by 4. Virginia Tech, though, with the basketball. Padula straight on, guarded by Trimble. Jab step. Tries to drive right of the lane. Oh, that was an odd-looking play. Yeah, it's a traveling violation on Padula. I don't even know if I can describe to you why it was, but it just looked odd as Padula drove right of the lane, kind of took an extra little bunny hop on the drive and ends up turning it over. That is turnover number 3 for the Hokies thus far. Carolina 19, Virginia Tech 15. 11:32 to go in the first half in the Smith Center. Heels will have the ball after this from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
11:32 to go, first half in Chapel Hill. It's been a good game thus far. Carolina 19, Virginia Tech 15. After the game, we'll have our Best in the Game feature brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. That's our player of the game. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game.
and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. And our broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, the #1 realtor in the Carolinas with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. So, Marcus, Carolina's already taken 8 3-pointers. They've made 2 of them. The Tar Heels in the last 5 games have taken more threes than free throws in 4 of these last 5 games. So what have you thought of the 8 threes they've taken thus far, and how have the ones that have gone in been the right ones to take?
You know, Jones, I don't love that they've taken 8 threes already. There's been a couple of open ones where I think there could have been some additional action instead of settling for the 3. But the 2 that we've made have come after superior ball movement, in my opinion. Dumped down into Baycott. He kicks it out, swing, wide open 3 for Ryan. And his second 3 was similar, right? After great ball movement and penetration, wide open 3. I love those shots for Cormac Ryan and anybody else on this team, but just want to make sure that this team is taking good shots.
Tar Heels are 5 of 5 at the free throw line as well with this early 4-point lead. Cadeau drives against Padula, gets to the rim, and finger rolls it over the challenge of Barron. Cadeau just decided he was going, and he did. 21-15, largest early lead for Carolina is 6. Padula still dribbling out between the circles. Now he's going to drift over to the left, get a screen from Kidd. He tries to go against Cadeau and scoops it in. So tit for tat there as Padula able to get to the rim and bank it in from the left side after Cadeau did something similar to him on the other side. Trimble, dribble handoff from Washington. Gets it left wing to Ingram. He'll hand off to Cormac Ryan. Guarded by the Tar Heel transfer Nickel, and Nickel fouls him. Just dropped his hands. And the foul on Nickel is his first. That's already 7 on Virginia Tech. So that's a 1-and-1 coming for Cormac Ryan. Carolina's been called for 2 fouls thus far. So at 10:48 of the first half, Carolina is going to go to the free throw line, be in the bonus the rest of the half. Baycott coming to the scores table for the Tar Heels. This is a 1-and-1 for Ryan with 10:48 to go. Carolina up 4. And you heard that one go right in the center for Ryan. Let's see who Baycott is. He getting Washington or Ingram? He'll get Washington. So Jalen Washington will get a nice round of applause for some quality minutes off the bench as Baycott returns. So the Heels have Cadeau, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, Baycott as the 5 on the floor. Ryan has 7 points. He and Ingram have 14 of Carolina's 22, make it 15 as Ryan makes both free throws. So 8 for Ryan, 7 for Ingram, 15 of Carolina's 23. Heels lead at 23-17. Padula angling front side against the defensive Trimble. Trimble down in his defensive crouch. You hear Mike Young yelling, go, 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 off the Virginia Tech bench. Padula, tough drive, blocked by Trimble, and a foul's called. It's going to be called on Trimble, his first, and 3rd on Carolina. That'll put Padula, 79% shooter, to the line. Virginia Tech's a great free throw shooting team. 79.5% as a team. That's 2nd best in the ACC and 4th best in the nation. As Tech's going to send 4 new players to the scores table here. And you look at some of these shooting numbers at the line. MJ Collins, 92%. Couture, 89%. Padula misses. He's at 79%. Nickel at 80.5%. Kidd at 87%. So some great shooters for Virginia Tech at the line. But Padula does miss that one. Padula took 16 free throws in the win against Florida State earlier this week and made 14 of them. We'll set all these new players for Virginia Tech for you as Padula goes 1 of 2. So out there for Tech, Couture and MJ Collins, along with Brandon Recksteiner, a freshman from Ackworth, Georgia. Tyler Nichols stays on the floor. And then Patrick Wessler, a 7-foot redshirt freshman from Matthews, North Carolina, is in for the first time. It's just his 8th game of the season. And Carolina goes right at him, gets the ball to Baycott, who Baycott just drove right at him, went up and under and scored. Baycott said, oh, you played in 7 games this year? Let me show you what ACC hoops is like.
I want to see more of that from Armando Baycott moving forward, attacking the basket.
25-18, Carolina by 7 as Wessler has it out on the perimeter. He'll hand off to Collins, who's been hot. Trimble trying to guard him. Collins, pump fake, gets Trimble in the air, pulls up, but too strong on the mid-range. Trimble gets the rebound. Carolina up 7 and on the run. Trimble, angle dribbles to the left, looking for Baycott in the post, gets it to him one-on-one with the youngster Wessler. Baycott goes to the left hand and hooks it home. It is 27-18. Hubert Davis like that, both from Baycott and Trimble. Trimble went right to the spot to get it to Baycott for the mismatch. Heels up 9. Collins, left wing to Wessler up top. Baycott swipes at it as he kicks it over to Couture. Drives on the right, hangs in the air. Bounces out to Trimble or to Nickel. A 3, no good. Rebound to Carolina. Ingram kicks it to Trimble. Long pitch ahead to Ryan. Pump fake for 3. Gets into the paint. His hook shot crawls off. Carolina, though, gets the rebound and dunks it home. Ingram with the flush. Timeout, Hokies. 29-18. Carolina with the lead. 9:07 to play first half. And Marcus, we said Patrick Wessler, a young player, redshirt freshman, has only played in 7 games. Tar Heels attacked him and got 2 buckets from Baycott and then an offensive rebound and dunk by Ingram as well.
The one thing I will credit Armando Baycott for, when he sees that younger guy or a guy that doesn't have that much experience, he goes right at him. And we need to see more of that. Great defense, great rebounding, push the pace, score inside. I mean, that's North Carolina basketball.
Ingram, 9 points and 8 rebounds thus far. He has 8 double-doubles this year and 13 in his career, and he's hoping to add another to that. Tar Heels on a 6-0 run. They had a 10-0 run earlier in the game. Heels shooting 50%, and on non-three-pointers, Carolina's 8 of 12 from inside the arc. So Tar Heels getting some good looks around the rim. Wessler did check out during that time, and I'm not trying to pick on him. It's not all him, but Carolina certainly picked on him a little bit, and he's checking out with Lynn Kidd returning. Part of the problem for Tech is you've got Kidd with a foul and Poteet with 2 fouls, so those are their top 2 big guys, and in a little bit of foul trouble here early on. So 9:05 to go as Virginia Tech gets it into the youngster Rechsteiner, guarded by Cadeau. Rechsteiner picks up his dribble in the front court. Tar Heels up by 11, largest lead they've had here in the first half. Couture, dribble handoff, Ryan right there with him. Sends it out to Rechsteiner, really long 3, no good. Jalen Withers swoops in for the board. Withers back in off the bench for Carolina. Cadeau, hesitation, drives in, tried to bounce it to Baycott, but Baycott had gone to rebound, so it's a turnover. Here comes Tech the other way. MJ Collins has it pinned against the glass by Withers. Kidd returning, though, gets the rebound, and then he is fouled by Baycott. Baycott swiped down and knocked it down off of Kidd out of bounds, but Baycott called for the foul, his first, and 4th on Carolina. What a recovery defensively by Withers. And Marcus talking about, Withers can just do things other guys can't. When he is engaged, he gives Carolina a whole different option.
There's no doubt about that. Watch that young man sprint from end to end to make that phenomenal block against the backboard right there. Can do a lot of great things out there on the basketball court.
Inbounds goes to Kidd. Quick handoff to Padula. Jump stop against R.J. Davis, who's back in, and Padula able to score. So Padula has 5, and Carolina's lead is 9, 29-20. Cadeau to Baycott. Baycott picks up his dribble at the high post, needs some help, finally able to get it to R.J. Davis. Right back to a cutting Baycott. His little scoop shot won't go, but Baycott able to tip it right back in with his left hand. He went with the driving oop-de-oop scoop. That didn't drop, but then he was a little more comfortable with the tip in.
I like the tip in. Let's just go. Let's just start there.
31-20. Tyler Nickel on the drive. Forces it up against Baycott. No good. And then an offensive rebounding foul called on Kidd for going over the back of the Tar Heels. That's the foul on Kidd, his 2nd and 8th on Virginia Tech. So Carolina 31, Hokies 20, and the Tar Heels will have the ball when we return. 7:54 to go in the first half. Carolina by 11 from their field. Seven minutes, 54 seconds to play. First half, Carolina 31, Virginia Tech 20. Food Lion, proud to sponsor the Score to give more program for each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game. Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. And let's take a look at these Lenovo stats. Lenovo is a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. You can visit their website, Lenovo.com. Lenovo, smarter technology for all. Carolina shooting 50%. Heels have scored on 14 of their last 19 possessions. They're 11 of 22 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3, 7 of 7 at the free throw line. Virginia Tech, meanwhile, 8 of 20 from the field. That is 40%, 3 of 7 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Top scorer for either team is Ingram. He has 9 points and 8 rebounds for Carolina, including 3 offensive rebounds. 8 points for Cormac Ryan, 6 for Baycott. For Virginia Tech, it's 7 for M.J. Collins. Tyler Nickel has 6 on 2 3-pointers. Sean Padula has 5. And rebounds, Marcus, 16-6. Carolina has as many offensive rebounds, 6, as the Hokies have total rebounds, that same number. Meanwhile, by the way, R.J. Davis is at the line for a 1-and-1 because that foul was the 8th on Virginia Tech before the break.
You know, I love looking at these stats. Obviously, seeing 100% from the free throw line is great. Shooting more free throws or making more free throws than they've attempted is great. I mean, rebounds like you just talked about. I mean, these are the things that when you see a North Carolina basketball team and you see them successful, those are the types of numbers that you're looking at.
First free throw was good by R.J. Davis. That's his first point of the afternoon. Second one crawls off. Withers, though, tips the rebound away again from Virginia Tech and chases it down. So the Tar Heels will keep possession. So that's the first missed free throw of the game for Carolina. The officials stopped the action to look at the clock. The shot clock, I think, reset to 20, but it should have reset to 30 because Virginia Tech had the rebound, so a change of possession, and then Withers tipped it free. So the officials stopping the action, changing the shot clock, which had dipped to 11, and correctly making it 21. So the Tar Heels will have the ball with 21 on the shot clock and the 32-20 advantage over the Hokies. Cadeau, oh my gosh, crossover, got to the right elbow, a terrific screen from Baycott, and went and finished it with the left hand. Boy, he is so quick with the ball in his hands. 34-20, Carolina by 14, largest advantage here the first half. Virginia Tech works it around the perimeter, ends up to Padula on the left wing. Padula drives baseline. His fall away is short. Cadeau, though, called for the foul. He did not hit him on the shot, but he closed in, and Padula didn't have space to land. And, well, I tell you, just looking at the replay, I mean, in real time, I thought it was a defensible call. I'm not sure Cadeau actually made contact. I think but Padula just didn't have a lot of space to land.
Jones, this is going to be unpopular opinion. I think everybody in this arena thinks that the refs have it out for Cadeau. But personally, I just feel like he puts himself in a bad position. He makes the referee kind of have to do something there. It's a tough contest, but what are you going to do?
First free throw didn't go in for Padula, so he goes 1 of 2. As he did make the second. Withers, after some more good minutes off the bench, checks out, and Ingram is back in. So the Heels have their starting 5 out there with a 34-20 lead. Cadeau, again with the crossover, gets by Padula, gets clubbed at the rim. No whistle. Here come the Hokies the other way. Padula's going to try a step-back 3. It is off the mark. Great box out by Ingram for yet another rebound, his 9th. Tar Heels the other way. Cadeau to a trailing Ingram. He'll fire the 3. It's short off the front iron. This time the rebound belongs to the Hokies as Couture chases it down. 6:45 to play first half. Heels up 34-21. Largest advantage has been 14. Carolina currently up 13. Couture. Carolina almost doubling him as Petit has it up top as Couture passed it away. Now Couture drives, gets it back to Petit for the layup. Carolina got out of sorts defensively, and then there's a traveling violation as Cadeau caught the pass in the backcourt. Padula was kind of hanging out. We're going to get a look at the replay. I had looked down, and Cadeau just traveled with the ball. He caught the inbounds, then Padula kind of jabbed at it. Cadeau skipped past him without dribbling. So an easy traveling violation call, and Cadeau will immediately come out as Paxton Wojcik checks in for the first time. So Virginia Tech within 12 after Carolina led by 14, and the Hokies get the turnover and the quick ball down low. Petit against Baycott's going to get the foul and the bucket. Again, Baycott was just out of sorts defensively, was off balance when Petit caught the basketball, and Petit, veteran move, attacked the out-of-balance Baycott, gets the bucket and the foul, and that's 2 fouls on Baycott, 6 now on Carolina. And Petit will have a chance for a 3-point play. Baycott will have to sit down with 2 fouls. 6:17 to play. This is a 4-0 spurt here by Tech with a free throw to try to add to it, which is good by Petit. So a 5-0 Tech run has Carolina's 14-point lead down to 9, and the Heels have to sit Baycott down. R.J. Davis running the point, kicks it over to Cormac Ryan. Good closeout by Padula, and then Ryan had the ball knocked out of his hands on the drive by Barron. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Carolina. 17 on the shot clock. Heels have Davis, Wojcik, Ryan, Ingram, and Washington as the 5 on the floor. Davis on the perimeter. Doesn't have a field goal in this half. To Wojcik, right corner to Ingram. Jump stop right of the lane. Nothing doing. Kicks it out to R.J. Davis. Davis then try a step back three from the right sideline. No good. Cormac Ryan, though, the offensive rebound. He'll go right back up. Missed the layup, but Washington's not going to miss the two-handed flush. Third try on the possession results in the dunk. 36-26, Carolina by 10. Virginia Tech works it around the perimeter. Line drive three, rattles in by M.J. Collins. Collins having a half. He has 10 points. His season high is 20. And it's a 7-point Carolina lead, 36-29. Cormac Ryan on the left side against Padula. Dribbles to the free throw line, lowers his shoulder, elevates, can't hit the push shot. Rebound Padula. Carolina's gotten a little cold here offensively. Virginia Tech, meanwhile, has hit 3 straight as Padula. A wild shot, no good. Ingram with his 10th rebound. Carolina 3-on-2 break with Ingram running it. Kicks it left side to R.J. Davis. Fills the gap and lays it home. 38-29. Ingram now with 9 points and 10 rebounds and just picked up an assist as well. 38-29, Heels by 9. Largest lead's been 14, but Virginia Tech making a bit of a push. Collins stripped by Cormac Ryan, who dives to the floor, saves it to Ingram. Long pitch ahead to R.J. Davis. Davis waits for traffic to clear and is fouled at the rim. Boy, he took a hard shot, and Davis is still down. Barron fouled him. RJ, I think, is okay. The only reason I say that is because his teammates quickly got to him, and he was kind of holding up his arms like, I'm all right. I'm all right. Took a hard shot on his elbow as he landed. The block was clean up high by Barron, but the body shot, Barron's stomach, about wiped out R.J. Davis's shoulder area on the play. So Barron's second foul, 9th foul on Tech, and 2 free throws for R.J. Davis. 4:34 to go in the half. Davis's free throw is good. He had already missed one today. That one popped around, hit the backboard, and dropped in. Davis had missed just 10 free throws all season. He came into today 99 of 109. He is 2 of 3 so far with one more coming as Nickel checks in for Barron. I don't know why people are booing Tyler Nickel. Hey, no need for that. As R.J. Davis going to the line for the second of 2, and he strips the net on that one. Couture will check back in for Jaden Young, who had briefly entered the game off the bench for the Hokies. So 40-29, Carolina by 11 with 4:34 to go in the first half. Largest lead's been 14. Paxton Wojcik deep in a defensive crouch, trying to stay with M.J. Collins, who's been hot for Tech here in the first half. Collins drives left of the lane, out to Poteet. Dribble handoff to Padula. Back to a cutting Poteet. Goes against Jalen Washington, is able to score. Poteet's been effective. He had 7 off the bench for the Hokies. Leading scorers for Tech, 10 by Collins. Poteet was 7, 6 for Padula and Nickel. Carolina paced by 9 Ingram points, 8 for Ryan, 6 for Baycott. R.J. Davis, tough runner, nothing but net. What a tough shot from the left elbow. And this little push shot on the run, that is not easy. 42-31, Smith Center crowd on its feet. Tech has made 4 of its last 5. Tar Heel crowd trying to help this defense out. Couture running a ton off the ball, finally gets an open look and drops it in. That work was done off the ball. Couture was circling all over the place and knocks in a 3 from the right sideline. Just great off-ball movement there by the veteran ACC player. Carolina back up, but it's by 8 now, 42-34 after the 3-pointer. Ingram one-on-one with Nickel. Spins into the paint, goes up, hook shot, good. Ingram now with a double-double in the first half. 11 points, 10 rebounds. Heels up 10 with 3:12 to go. Hokies have hit 5 3-pointers, by the way, here in the first half. Padula on the drive. Kicks it wide open left corner Nickel for the 6th 3-pointer that Virginia Tech has made this half. And a timeout by Virginia Tech with 3:03 to go in the half. That will stretch to a full in the under 4-minute timeout. Hokies are glad they have made 6 3-pointers because Carolina is still up 7 despite the fact that Tech is 6 of 11 from behind the arc. So, Heels 44, Hokies 37. Carolina will have the ball when we return from Learfield. A timeout taken by Virginia Tech leaves the Hokies with 2 left for the rest of the game. 3:03 to play first half. Tar Heels have led by as many as 14, but Virginia Tech has made 6 of its last 7 shots, including 3 threes. They're back within 7 at 44-37. Speaking of back, basketball camps are back. Young men who will be in 6th or 7th grade during the 24-25 school year can apply for a scholarship through their local electric cooperative to attend the UNC basketball school this June. Apply online at ncelectriccooperatives.com/sports camps. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, building a brighter future for people and communities across the Tar Heel state. So again, that North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard, 44 for the Heels, 37 for the Hokies. Brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what they do best. So how are the Heels being successful? Rebounding. They have 20 of them, including 8 offensive rebounds that have led to 9 second chance points. Points in the paint, Carolina 26-14. Free throws, Heels are 10 of 11. How are the Hokies being successful? 3-point shot. They are 6 of 11 from behind the arc. That includes Tyler Nickel, 3 of 4. MJ Collins, 2 of 2. Couture has hit a 3 as well for the Hokies. Carolina will come out of the huddle with Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Washington. Bacon on the bench with 2 fouls. For Virginia Tech, Couture, Barron, Kidd, and Poteet all have 2 fouls for the visitors. R.J. Davis up high in the front court to Cormac Ryan. Catch and shoot 3 on line, but short. And a rebounding foul called on Washington. That's his first and 7th now on Carolina. So that's going to be free throws for the Hokies. See who it is, who's going to be going to the line. I'm not sure. Might be Poteet. We'll find out.
Again, getting back to the threes, just not a great 3, in my personal opinion.
Carolina's 2 of 11 from 3. They are 14 of 22 from inside 3.
You missed the 3, and now you foul them, put them on the free throw line. Just want to see us get into some better action on offense.
It's going to be Jaden Young, the freshman from Goldsboro. He has taken 2 free throws all season. He made them both. It's a 1-and-1. And gets the roll on that one. 3-time All-State for Jaden Young. 4-time All-Conference at Greensboro Day School. And he's got the Hokies within 6. And this game's 44-38 now. Both free throws good. So it's a 5-point game. Carolina led by 14. At 34-20. So Virginia Tech has outscored Carolina 19-10 since then. To get back within 5. Baycott still on the bench with those 2 fouls. Ingram going to go one-on-one with Nickel. Backing in, spins baseline, has his shot blocked by Nickel. Rebound, loose ball goes to the Hokies. Padula had a chance for 3, didn't take it. Instead, MJ Collins will. Off the back iron, no. Ingram with his 11th rebound. And he'll slow things down as Carolina couldn't get the fast break going. 44-39. Tar Heels have seen their 14-point lead cut down to 5. 2:15 to go in the half. Ryan out on the perimeter. Gets to Ingram on the right sideline. Pitches up to the middle of the floor to Ryan. Now to Davis on the left. Davis around a screen, a crossover. He's going to drive left of the lane. Stops, pops, goes off the window. It rolls out, but Ingram slaps the offensive rebound out to Ryan to reset the possession. Davis again on the perimeter, around a screen. Fires it over to Trimble, deep on the left wing. He's going to drive against Nickel, have his shot blocked out of bounds, and it hit Trimble. So back-to-back blocks here from Nickel, and he's a good shot blocker. And he blocks a couple there and give the ball to Virginia Tech. Here comes Wessler again. Well, yes, he and Young are going to come in for Couture and Poteet. Talking about Nickel, he had blocked, well, just 5 shots this season. but he has 2 in quick succession. 44-39. Carolina by just 5. Padula on the drive and kick. Catch and shoot 3, no good. That was Young. Rebound chased down by Cadeau, who's back in for Carolina. Cadeau to a trailing Ingram in the front court. Quickly on the right side to Trimble, and a foul off the ball on Wessler. That's his first. That's the 10th on Virginia Tech. So Jalen Washington is going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots with 1:28 to go in the first half. Carolina up 5, but they've led by as many as 14. Bacot on the bench with 2 fouls. And Carolina's offense has stalled some since Bacot did go to the bench. This is a 2-shot opportunity for Washington, although everybody jumped into the paint like it was a 1-and-1. Didn't matter. Washington swished it home. He's 64% on the season and now 8 of his last 12. He has 5 points off the Tar Heel bench today. 45-39. Second one no good, though. And Wessler with the rebound. Went hard off the back iron. Carolina 11 of 13 as a team at the free throw line. 45-39. Heels by 6. And Virginia Tech with the ball. Padula tries to drive on R.J. Davis. Nothing there. Keeps the possession going, and he's blocked out of bounds off Padula. R.J. Davis, I think, got that block and blocked it off of Padula's body out of bounds. If it does belong to R.J., it's just his 3rd block of the season. It was Davis with the block. Heels up 6, 45-39 as Cadeau comes front side. Cadeau, Davis, Trimble. As it's Davis on the right wing, beats that 3-pointer is good for R.J. Davis. First one of the night for him. And a big one to get the Heels back up 9. Padula on the other side, trying to drive against Davis. Gets to the ACC logo. Jump stop. Fires it off the paint or off the glass. No good. Wessler with the offensive rebound. Goes back up. Blocked by Washington, and Washington cleans it up. Tar Heels going to get front side, I think, and call timeout. So the Tar Heels will use that use it or lose it timeout as the shot clock has about a 5-second difference. 23 on the shot clock, 28.8 on the game clock. So Carolina up 48-39. Hokies cut this down to a 5-point deficit, but have not scored in the last 2:23. So, Marcus, going to this use it or lose it timeout. You know, Coach Williams didn't take this timeout a lot. Coach Davis has shown that he does like to take this timeout if it's available to him to try to set up a shot. What in your mind is important here for this possession? 23 on the shot clock, just under 29 on the first half game clock.
I mean, I think that this is just a great opportunity to, again, work on your execution as a team. We just saw in that last play, R.J. Davis coming up these baseline screens to get him his first 3 of the game. I think that these moments could easily and will translate to late game situations where you need a basket. You know, this is just a great opportunity to get your team together, get a plan in play, and go out there and execute. So
Ingram with an 11-point, 12-rebound first half. Carolina's still with that big rebounding advantage, 25-15. R.J. Davis didn't have a field goal for a while, but now he's up to 10 points, 2 two-pointers, a 3-pointer, and 3 free throws. 8 points for Ryan. Virginia Tech, M.J. Collins with 10. Carolina brought Ryan and Bacot back in. So Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, Bacot, starting 5 on the floor. Bacot does have 2 fouls. Cadeau dribbling out near the timeline. Shot clock gets down to 10. Cadeau now with 8 is going to go one-on-one with Padula. Goes behind the back. Dribbles in. Lost the ball momentarily, though, but gets it back and pushes it home. Cadeau one-on-one for the bucket. 50-39. Bacot's got to be careful not to foul here as M.J. Collins misses the long 3. The wild tip-in by Young won't go either. And Bacot was challenging on that rebound with 2 fouls. Tar Heels glad there was no whistle on that one. So, Carolina led by as many as 14. Virginia Tech cut it down to 5. But then the Heels closed the half on a 6-0 spurt. And they will take an 11-point advantage into the halftime locker room. 50-39, Carolina at the break from their field. That's it for the Wells Fargo Halftime Show, brought to you by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics. Heels up 50-39 going to the second half. and lets us make the trusted choice of the game for the second half. Brought to you by the Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina, who want you to stay safe behind the wheel. Put down your phone while driving. Let's have a hands-free in-seat. No need to text and drive. To learn more and find an agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com/go heels. Marcus, what in your mind will be important here in the second half for Carolina to get out of here with a win?
Jones, to me, it's obvious. Get the ball inside. We got a 28-14 advantage in points in the paint. We've made more free throws than they've attempted, and we're shooting 3 of 12 from 3. So, to me, that says go inside.
Carolina will have its starting 5 on the floor, and the Tar Heels will have the basketball first. Virginia Tech won the opening tip. No jump balls in the first half. So Carolina moving left to right as we see it here. Courtside will have the ball with that 50-39 advantage. Cadeau to R.J. Davis on the left sideline. Gets it quickly to Baycott. Double team there. He passes to Ingram out to a wide open Cormac Ryan. His 3 off the back iron, though, no good. Ingram, I think, could have shot that. Made one extra pass, and it was a clean look for Ryan. Just no good. Ryan 2 of 5 from three-point range this afternoon thus far. Couture tried to bounce it to Kidd, taken away by Baycott. Nice job by Baycott with the quick hands to intercept the pass. Cadeau other way for Carolina. Wants to go down low to Baycott. He is in a fight with Kidd, so Carolina goes over left side to Ryan. Now they get it to Baycott. Double team on the way. Out to Ryan, right back to Baycott. Now he's going to go one-on-one with Kidd. Boy, just powering his way in there, and he's fouled as he turns to shoot. That's 3 on Kidd, who did not agree with the call. And that will put Baycott at the line for his first 2 shots at the free throw stripe this afternoon.
And Jones getting the ball inside also gets these fouls going. Yeah. North Carolina shooting free throws with 10 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the first half because they're attacking the basket.
Baycott was doubled each time there when he got the ball early in possessions. He's going to the line here for 2 shots. Still 50-39. That was the halftime score as Baycott makes the free throw. And Marcus, that's an area Baycott's gotten a lot better, is passing out of double teams. I still think every now and then he can make a faster decision, but he's done so much better as this year's gone on, getting the ball out of his hands if a double comes.
So he's certainly going to get that attention, and it's going to be great for North Carolina for him to be able to get that ball out like we saw just now.
Made them both. He's up to 8 points now, and it's 52-39. Tar Heels' largest lead in the first half was 14. It is currently 13. This is an 8-0 run for Carolina, going back to scoring the last 6 points of the first half. Couture on the left wing to Padula behind a screen straight on, takes a dribble in. Really tough, long 2 on the challenge by Ingram. No good. Baycott with the rebound. He'll get it to Couture. Stutter step, or to Cadeau, as he stutter steps front side. We'll take it. Couture's a good player. We'll take the freshman. Cadeau on the drive from the left wing, gets all the way to the right block, nothing there. He's just going to have to reset it out to R.J. Davis. Still 12 on the shot clock for the Heels. Davis to Ingram, one-on-one with Padula, backing in, shot clock at 5, double team comes, gets it to Cadeau. Extra pass to R.J. Davis, long time, triple, nothing but net. Davis for 3. That went all the way to the final seconds of the clock, and Davis strips the net for a 16-point lead. Barron will try and answer on the other side. Can't do it. Long rebound, though. Chased down by Poteet, who checked in for Kidd. So Virginia Tech keeps possession. Padula, jump stop, throws it up over his head, and it goes in. Somebody grabbed the net, but the bucket for Padula makes it 55-41. The Tar Heel coaching staff is begging for the offensive goaltend as Baycott can't score on the other side, and there's Baycott's a little shaken up. Padula the other way has it swatted out of bounds from behind by Cormac Ryan. Keeping an eye on Baycott. He is really bothered up around his eyes and nose area. He's taking a look to the bench. He is still not even gotten down, just now getting into the paint area on the defensive side for Carolina. The Tar Heel coaches, the question was who grabbed the net when Padula shot that layup. If it was Poteet, then it should be basket interference. And I'm not sure, the officials aren't going to the monitor, but there's a long stoppage of play here. I don't see, it is Poteet needs a new contact lens is the issue here. The Tyler Hansbrough special, right, Marcus? It was like once
Give me
every
nightmares here.
once every like 3 or 4 games, T-Hands needed a new contact.
Where's Tyler's contact?
How hard are those to see on the court?
I couldn't see them, and I'm glad I was never looking for one.
Now the fans are booing. I say there's some pressure on Poteet. Sometimes it's tough to get that contact lens in. He's trying to do it off of cell phone to use that as like the mirror. Now I could say you could sub. You could just bring
back the rec specs. Don't have to worry about contacts.
He still hadn't gotten this thing in his eye. And starting to get some grumbles here from the crowd. 17:45 to play with the Heels up 55-41. Now Poteet's ready to go. That'll get a round of applause. So the transfer from Rice, who's had a good game. He's played well for him. 7 points and 5 rebounds. Inbounds goes to Barron in the left corner. Out to Couture. Catch and shoot 3 is just off the mark. There's Poteet. Well, he had the rebound, but then he lost it. It goes to R.J. Davis, and R.J.'s fouled. See who it's on. It's on Barron, and that's his 3rd. So Virginia Tech, Marcus referenced the fouls. Now Kidd has 3. Barron has 3. Poteet and Couture each have 2. Baycott, the only Tar Heel with more than 1 foul. He is playing with 2 as well. 55-41 Carolina, 17:33 to go in the second half. Heels working in the half court. Baycott over to R.J. Davis on the left wing. To a cutting Baycott. Drives in, heavy contact, and oh no, it's called an offensive foul. Excuse me, I thought Baycott was going to go to the line, but that's 3 fouls on Baycott, so a big deal there, as Carolina has not been whistled for many fouls, just 8 in total in the game, but that's 3 now on Baycott. We'll see if Carolina keeps him in the game. They are not making any move to the bench, so Baycott will stay in there with 3 personal fouls. 17:25 to go. Heels up 14, but Baycott, who's played well, 8 points, 4 boards, playing with 3 fouls. Padula front side for the Hokies. Tyler Nickel checked in for Tech during that stoppage of play. MJ Collins to Poteet. Dribble handoff to Couture. Wraps to the right elbow. Ended up shooting, and a foul's called on Cormac Ryan. We were blocked off a bit, but the Carolina crowd certainly did not like this call. We'll take a look at the replay as Ryan just reaching in a bit. Called for his first foul, and it'll put Couture near automatic at the line at 89% there for 2 shots, and he makes the first. Couture, his 4th point of the afternoon, makes it 55-42. 17:05 to go. And made them both. Veteran move, honestly, by Couture, as he had stopped and was pumped and kind of turning around. Didn't have a great look at the rim, so he just kind of bodied his way into Ryan and earned the foul. Cadeau on the drive, out to R.J. Davis. Catch and shoot 3 is off the mark, and Baycott is fouled on the rebound. I think that's on Poteet. And that's Elijah Poteet's 3rd foul. So now you've got Poteet, Barron, and Kidd all with 3 fouls.
And that's just a great effort by Armando Baycott, putting that pressure on them to box him out and keep him off the board.
The officials talked about it for a second because the Tech staff was trying to say the call should have been against Padula, which would have been his first. But they did not change the call. Inbounds goes out to Ingram. He'll hand off to Cadeau. Heels up by 12. Cadeau, that's going to be an easy hand check foul. Padula was in major trouble trying to stay in front of the freshman and just dropped his hands, and pretty easy call there. First on Padula, 4th now on Tech. And Carolina will inbound with a 55-43 lead. Cadeau tried to lob a pass to Baycott off the mark. Great effort by Baycott, diving into the baseline to save it to Cadeau, who then had his pocket picked by Padula. Here comes Virginia Tech the other way. And another foul. This one's on the floor on Ryan. And so that's 2 on Ryan, 3 on Carolina. So that's already 7 fouls called here in this half, as Trimble's going to check in for Cadeau. Well, here comes Withers and Washington, too. So wholesale subs here as Baycott, Ryan, and Cadeau all go to the bench. Lynn Kidd's going to check back in with Washington coming in. Hokies trying to get an advantage in experience in the post. So Davis, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, Washington, the 5 on the floor for Carolina. Inbounds goes in the left corner to Collins. Heels up 12 after leading by 11 at halftime. A switch has R.J. Davis guarding Lynn Kidd in the post. Kidd able to work by him, keep his footing, and lay it home. Second bucket for Kidd, and it's a 6-0 Virginia Tech run to get back within 10. R.J. Davis, a little late, but gets it to Jalen Washington in the post. Washington goes up against Kidd, can't finish on the right. Had his hands on the rebound, knocked out of his hands by the Hokies, out of bounds into the Tar Heel bench area. It's been a long start to the half with a lot of dead balls, a lot of fouls. Still at 16:04 to go, second half. Carolina 55, Virginia Tech 45. Heels have not scored in more than 2 minutes. Ingram still trying to get it in and does up the sideline right to Washington. Now to Trimble. He'll wait for R.J. Davis to come get it and set up the half-court attack. Davis in the center jump circle, gets a screen from Washington, go to the right to Ingram. Long cross-court pass goes left corner to Trimble. He's going to drive baseline, hand off to Washington for the two-handed flush. Nice play for Carolina. Ends up in the easy dunk for Washington. Side to side on that one, right, Marcus?
Great ball movement. Every time North Carolina has great ball movement, it ends in a good shot.
57-45. Couture to Kidd. Double teamed in the post. Battling against Washington. He's going to get the bucket and draw the foul. So Washington called for his second. That's already 8 fouls called in this half. 4 on each team as Kidd is going to have a chance for the three-point play after this break. Tar Heels led by 11 at halftime, up by 10, but Kidd can make it 9 at the stripe when we return. 15:28 to go in the Smith Center from Learfield. .28 to play. Carolina with the 57-47 lead over Virginia Tech. Carolina led by 11 at halftime. Stretched it out pretty quickly here in the second half to 16. But Virginia Tech has gone on an 8-2 run and can make it 9-2 with a free throw when action resumes. Today's game is presented by Bojangles. It's bow time. And Modelo, proud to sponsor Carolina basketball as well. Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Some Lenovo stats here from the second half presented by Lenovo and Lenovo.com. Lenovo, smarter technology for all. This half, Heels 2 of 6, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 of 2 at the line. Virginia Tech 3 of 7, 0 of 2 from 3, 2 of 2 at the line. Rebounds even this half at 4. Biggest deal has been fouls this half. There have already been 4 called on each team, and you are starting to see some individual foul trouble. For Carolina, most notably, it's Baycott with 3. Washington and Ryan each have 2. For Virginia Tech, Barron and Poteet and Lynn Kidd all have 3. Couture playing with 2. So Marcus, Heels up 10. Kidd, a great free throw shooter, will go to the line for 1 shot. And Hokies hanging around. Carolina trying to continue to stretch this out.
You know, hanging around, I just hate hearing that. I hate hearing that. And so just hoping and wishing and praying that this North Carolina basketball team finds a way to really step on their throats here and get themselves some space here in the second half.
Kidd, I mentioned, a great free throw shooter. He's nearly 87%. That's 4th best in the league. Now, first 12 games of the year, he was 54 of 62. The last 12 games, he's only taken 14. 12 of 14 in the last 12 games, but he earns one here, which is good. He's up to 7 points, 5 this half. And Hokies back within single digits at 57-48. As the Tar Heels working in the half court. R.J. Davis has it on the left wing, got caught up in some traffic. Passes on the left sideline to Trimble, right back middle of the floor to Davis. Shot clock down to 13. Davis tries to go crossover, backdoor to Trimble, and tipped away by Padula. Turnover for Carolina as Virginia Tech comes out of there with it. To Tyler Nickel. Nickel drives hard against Withers, pulls up in the mid-range and drops it home. Nickel in double figures for the 12th time this year. And it's now an 11-2 Virginia Tech run as they're back within 7. Baycott back in the game, trying to get position down low. Heels can't find it. So they work it around the perimeter to Trimble. Now he gets it to Baycott, goes right around Kidd for the easy layup. But Kidd almost gave up once Baycott got his shoulder around him. And Baycott laid it in. 59-50, Heels by 9. Trying to stem this Virginia Tech tide. Hokies have made 3 straight shots. MJ Collins, who had 10 in the first half, on the right sideline, out to Couture. Long catch and shoot 3, no good. Good box out by Baycott, and the rebound knocked out by Kidd over the baseline. 2 veteran big guys there, Kidd and Baycott both working. Baycott did a nice job keeping Kidd away. He could only swipe at it. And it went out of bounds. So the Tar Heels have the ball. R.J. Davis walks front side. Whips it over to Withers on the left wing, right back to Davis. Baycott really working, gets the ball. Double team comes, Baycott spins away from it and banks it home with the right hand. Just an easy, decisive move away from the double team for Baycott. Over the left shoulder, right-handed hook. 61-50. Padula diagnosing his way down low. Out to Kidd, spins against Baycott. Forces up a hook, no good. Ingram with his 13th rebound. Heels on the run. Ingram right up the center of the floor. Dribbles behind the back, top of the key. Looking for Baycott down low. Withers stumbling into the paint. Going to get the layup to go, and he'll have a chance for 3. And the foul's on Kidd. That's his 4th. So double whammy there for the Hokies, as Withers originally was going to look like was looking for Baycott, then saw a driving angle open and kind of lost his footing, but it all turned out just fine as he gets the bucket and the foul. And the 4th foul on Kidd will send him to the bench. Nickel will head to the Pine as well. 63-50 as Withers' free throw took a lap around the rim but spun out. He kind of put his hands up in the air like, how dare you do that? Withers had only missed 8 all year. He's an 81% shooter coming into the game. 63-50, Heels by 13. Largest lead has been 16. Poteet hands off to Couture. Trimble right there on the catch. Forces a fall away, tough 2, and that's good. I tell you what, though, Carolina will live with that. A long, tough 2 by Couture. He's good enough to make it, but they'd much rather him have that than open looks at 3s as Trimble tries to enter the post with a pass to Baycott. Kicked out of bounds by Padula. 23 on the shot clock, 13:07 on the second half game clock. Heels up by 11, 63-52. Tar Heels have now made their last 4. Inbounds goes out to Withers, standing on the 3-point arc right side. He'll reset it out to Cadeau. Cadeau on the pick and roll to Baycott. Pass tipped away, but Baycott slaps it out to R.J. Davis. Missed the 3, but a foul called on the rebound is going to be on Withers. On the Tar Heel reserve, his 5th foul on Carolina. That was a great effort by Baycott after Cadeau tried to hit Baycott on the pick and roll. Virginia Tech tipped it, but then Baycott slapped it out to Davis, who had a clean look at 3. RJ is 2 of 7 from 3-point range today, not having a great shooting day. 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. Heels up 11. Virginia Tech, though, with the basketball. Cador drops it down to Poteet, and he's fouled. It is Trimble who fouled the cutting Poteet. And that's 2 on Trimble, 6 on Carolina. So Virginia Tech will be in the bonus the rest of the way. There have been 11 fouls called this half. 6 on the Heels, 5 on Virginia Tech. Poteet, who's 1 of 1 at the stripe and 71% on the season, goes there for 2 shots, and he makes the first. So it's back to 10, 63-53. Heels have led by as many as 16 as the game's kind of yo-yoing right now between about 8 and 13 or so. Poteet makes them both. He's up to 9 points. And that's where the lead is as well. 9 for the Tar Heels, 63-54. Cadeau between the circles in the front court. He's joined by Davis, Trimble, Withers, and Baycott on the floor. Carolina gets it down to Baycott. Extra pass to Withers. Oh, he missed the 2-handed hammer. An uncontested 2-handed flush for Withers, but he missed it. And Couture is going to try a long 3 on the other side. No good. Rebound, though, bounces to Padula. He'll take the 3. That won't go either. Baycott with the rebound. R.J. Davis, long pitch ahead. It was tipped, but into the hands of Trimble, who soars to the rim and lays it in on the right baseline. Decisive move by Trimble, 65-54. Carolina by 11 as Ingram and Ryan come to the scores table for the Tar Heels. Poteet, handoff to Collins. Extra pass to Padula. Finds Couture. He'll drop a little pocket pass to Poteet, who just lowers his shoulder into Baycott to knock him out of the way and hook it in. Heels quickly the other way. R.J. Davis cut off by Couture. Heels will have to set up in the half court with a 9-point lead. Cadeau straight on outside the arc. Whips it to Baycott, rolling to the rim, scoops it in for 2, and he's going to have a chance for 3. Barron rotated over late, and the Heels made him pay. Baycott with 8 this half, 14 for the game. He'll have a 3-point chance when we return, and that's 4 fouls on Barron. So now Kidd and Barron, 2 of the big guys for Virginia Tech, each have 4 fouls. Poteet has 3. Carolina 67, Virginia Tech 56. It's an 11-point Tar Heel lead. Baycott will try to make it 12 when we return from their field.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
11 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the Smith Center. 67-56. Carolina. Baycott to the line to try to complete a 3-point play when action resumes. For more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill. Handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere. It's where Tar Heels come to celebrate. The GM at Top of the Hill, Guy Murphy, sitting courtside. Oh, highfalutin seats for Mr. Murphy there with his wife Lee and his daughters here watching the game. Vivian, Lena, their 2 daughters here. And we're also brought to you in part by Kohl's. With everyday styles at great prices, you can get more of what you want for less. Find go-tos for going everywhere and your perfect picks for your home. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com today, KOHLS.com. By the way, bunch of former Tar Heels today just looking around. Matt Windstrom, Pete Chilcutt, of course, one of our broadcast partners this year. Tyler Hansbrough, one of our broadcast partners this year. John Kuster, Dave Hanners, Brandon Robinson, showed Kobe White. Great to see Kobe. What a player Kobe was here and is in the NBA. Of course, Marcus Ginyard joining me, Jones Angel, here courtside in the Smith Center. And Marcus right now, a guy that has been a current Tar Heel for a while. He'll be a former Tar Heel eventually, but a current Tar Heel is Armando Baycott, and he's been doing some work this half. He has 8 points this half and now 14 for the game.
Well, Armando Baycott has shown throughout his career that when he's locked in and when he wants to be, he's an absolute low down low. And, with North Carolina up 40-24 in paint points, I'm looking for North Carolina to get Armando Baycott the ball more moving forward.
You heard his free throw go right in the center of the net. Ingram with 11 points, 13 boards. Baycott 15 points, 6 rebounds. R.J. Davis with 13 points. Those are the 3 Tar Heels in double figures. Carolina up 12. Couture working off the ball as Baycott got knocked down off the ball, and because of that, Couture was able to get an open lane and an easy lay-in because Baycott wasn't there to protect the rim. I'm not sure what happened, but Baycott ended up on the deck underneath. 68-58, Heels by 10, as Ingram has it on the left wing in at the front court for Carolina. Now left sideline, he's going to back in against Nickel. Ingram, big power step into the paint. His turnaround hook won't go. And he comes up short on that one. Virginia Tech with the rebound. Padula, front side to a trailing Collins. Right back to Padula, guarded by Baycott. His 3 way off the mark. But Padula following his own shot, able to tip the rebound to Couture. So Virginia Tech will start again. Collins pulls up for the long 2 and knocks it in. 68-60. Carolina's led by as many as 16, but Virginia Tech back within 8. Tar Heels in the post. Baycott with the easy flush. It has been time and time again, the big fella down low. 70-60. Baycott with 11 this half, 17 for the game. He is playing with 3 fouls. Poteet back to the basket at the left elbow. Dishes it out to Padula. Drives in traffic. And a foul is called on R.J. Davis. That's his second. And so now this will be 2 shots for Padula, fouled in the act of shooting. And both teams in the bonus the rest of this game. Carolina's been called for 7 fouls. Virginia Tech 6. So both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Both these teams good free throw shooting teams. Told you Virginia Tech as Padula makes the first. Virginia Tech second best in the conference and 4th in the country at 79.5%. Wake Forest is better than Tech. They're the only ACC team with a better shooting percentage from the stripe, and Padula makes them both. Virginia Tech now 7 of 7 this half at the line. Carolina up 8 again at 70-62. Double team comes. Baycott out to Ryan. Boy, he's got to have that one, and he does for 3. I say you got to have it when Baycott passes that well out of the double team and you get that clean a look. Ryan rattles it in. He's up to 11 points, 73-62. Padula will try and answer the three. He can't. Ingram with the rebound. He'll hand off to Cadeau. Carolina moving down the floor. Cadeau right side. Stops, finds a trailing Ingram. Floats it down low to Baycott. Goes up against Poteet for two more. Baycott left hand off the window. 75-62. I think Virginia Tech is going to take its penultimate timeout. It will. Hokies have just one left for the final 9:22 as the Heels have stretched this back out to a 13-point lead. Baycott now up to 19 points, 6 rebounds. Davis, 13 points. Ryan with 11. Ingram, 11 to go along with a gaudy 14 rebounds. Tar Heels by 13 with 9:22 to go in the second half from Learfield. Nine minutes, 22 seconds to play in the second half in the Smith Center. Carolina's led by as many as 16 after leading by 11 at the half. It's currently a 13-point Tar Heel advantage, 75-62. Again, 9:22 to go. We're brought to you in part by the Good Feet Store. Foot, knee, hip, or back pain. I bet Marcus had all of those at some point. I know he's had some foot pain in his career. Good Feet Arch Supports are engineered to support all four arches to provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. Try them for yourself. Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. And Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics, believes an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels, here for all. Marcus, you've been banging the drum here this half and get the ball inside. It has been effective for Carolina. 10 of 17 from the field this half. And a lot of those are Armando Baycott, who this half is 5 of 6 from the floor.
I mean, the numbers just continue to speak for themselves. 44 points inside the paint to Virginia Tech's 26. You talked about how Armando Baycott has passed it so exceptionally well out of double teams. He's going to get that attention from all defenses, and his ability to kick it out to great shooters like Cormac Ryan off of interior penetration, whether that's off the dribble or off the pass. Those shots are so much higher percentage shots. And it shows. Cormac Ryan hits great shots off of great penetration and kicks.
75-62. Virginia Tech will have the basketball. MJ Collins, big screen from Poteet to get to the right of the lane. Dumps it off to Poteet in the paint. He's stripped by Cadeau, but a foul going to be called. Cadeau looks like he absolutely can't believe it. It's his second. 8th on Carolina, but it again is going to result in 2 free throws. So the 7th foul and the 8th foul on Carolina result in 2 free throws as Poteet was in the act of shooting.
And I hate to break it to Elliott, but that is 100% a foul.
He didn't think so as Poteet gets the roll on the free. I tell you, Poteet, Malijal Poteet, 6'9", senior, originally from Reidsville, North Carolina, started his career at Rice. Second year at Virginia Tech. He has played well here with Kidd and some foul issues. Poteet's given them a nice option off the bench as he makes both free throws. So he's up to 13 points now off the bench and 5 rebounds for Poteet. Padula's going to get a breather after that free throw dropped in. So it's an 11-point Tar Heel lead, 75-64. Tar Heels have Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott. And it's Baycott who goes up and under but cannot finish against Poteet. Had a good look, just couldn't quite finish it. And the rebound belongs to the Hokies. Collins weaves around traffic, pulls up in the mid-range, and drops it in. He's at 14. So Virginia Tech, back-to-back buckets. They're right back within 9 at 75-66 after 2 free throws in a bucket. Cadeau, hard drive on the right, gets to the rim and banks it home for 2. But just he took one little jab step to get his defender off balance and then attacked. 77-66, Heels up 11. Virginia Tech with the basketball. Collins leaves it for Poteet, gets the dunk. Collins drove right of the lane. Heels had to rotate over. Both teams, some high-level offense here. Both are shooting 50% or better in the second half. Ingram to Davis on the right wing. Bounces to a cutting Baycott. Extra pass out to Ingram. He'll fire it left corner to Ryan. Pump fake for 3. Drives in, lost the ball, recovers, and he got banged around by his defender, which is Jaden Young, and that causes the whistle and the foul. That is the first foul on Young, but 7th on Tech. So it'll be Cormac Ryan to the line for a 1-and-1, but after this timeout, as the clock has gotten to 7 minutes and 59 seconds. So this is the under 8 timeout. Heels by 9 with Ryan going to the stripe for a 1-and-1. 77-68, 7:59 to play from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Seven minutes and 59 seconds to play. Cormac Ryan will be at the line for a 1-and-1 when action resumes. Carolina 77, Virginia Tech 68, so a 9-point Tar Heel lead. Carolina has 8 assists this half on 11 made field goals, 14 assists for the game, and Harris Teeter is assisting you with groceries this season. Each week, one winner will receive free groceries for every assist. Visit harristeeter.com and look for the Big Four grocery assist page to enter today. Now, Virginia Tech led 5-0 in this game. Tar Heels then led by as many as 14 in the first half. The game's kind of yo-yoed back and forth. Heels led by 14. Tech cut it all the way to 5. Tar Heels led by 16 after that early in this half. And since then, Marcus, it's gone 16-7, out to 13, back to 8, back to 13, and now back to 9 with Ryan at the line for a 1-and-1. So Carolina has had control on the scoreboard, but hasn't been able to run away either. And a big reason why, both teams shooting 50% or better this half. And Virginia Tech's 9 of 9 at the free throw line this half. They have taken 5 more free throws than the Heels have here in the second half.
And, Jones, I think we're going to be watching a lot more free throws for the rest of the game as both teams are in the bonus. But I just think North Carolina's got to do a better job defending without Fowler.
Free throw good by Ryan. Yeah, both teams are in the bonus. There have been 8 fouls called on Carolina, 7 on Virginia Tech this half. So both teams in the bonus with the double bonus in sight. Ryan gets the roll on the second free throw. Front iron, backboard and through. So it's an 11-point Carolina lead. Tar Heels will pick up with some pressure in the backcourt. Inbounds goes to Couture, and once the Hokies get it in, Carolina eases that pressure up. MJ Collins, who has 16. The season high and career high is 20. Dribbling right of the lane, jump stop, bounces to Petit. His hook shot is short. Ingram soars in for the rebound. To R.J. Davis, coming front side on the left. Back to a trailing Cadeau on the left sideline. Directing some traffic. Cadeau still dribbling on the wing. Hard jump stop in the paint, lost the basketball, and then foul. And Hubert Davis immediately turns to Steph Trimble and tells him to get in the ball game as Cadeau picks up his 3rd foul after turning it over. And that's going to be more free throws for Virginia Tech. So Carolina had gotten the lead back to 11, gotten a stop, but then turns it over. That's 5 turnovers for Cadeau. Carolina has 8 as a team, but 5 of them by the freshman. Does have 4 assists on top of that. But the second time in 3 games that he has 5 or more turnovers. He had 5 at Miami as well. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for MJ Collins, who's the best free throw shooter on Virginia Tech's team at 92%. And as you would expect, he easily hits the first. He's up to 17 now. Again, his season and career high is 20. And the lead is 10, 79-69, Carolina. Both of them good for Collins. He has 18 to make it, well, they have him for 16 officially. We'll double check that. As Ryan has it right now deep on the left wing for Carolina. Out to R.J. Davis. Tough pass in the middle of a double team to Baycott. Extra pass corner left to Ingram. Misses the 3 short. Long rebound caroms to Couture. Carolina up by 9, but Virginia Tech with the basketball after the stop. Lynn Kidd in the post. Guarded by Ingram. Kidd spins and hooks it in. Had the size mismatch. Kidd 6'10". Ingram listed at 6'7". 7-point game. Virginia Tech shooting 50% this half. Double team comes at Baycott. His pass to Ingram tipped away. Loose ball chased down by Ryan. Out to R.J. Davis on the left side. Dribbles into the left corner. Shot clock down to 12. Against Nickel. Gets by him on the baseline. Had a shot blocked. Davis gets it right back, though, and puts it in. R.J. Davis up to 15. 81-72. Carolina by 9. Clock starting to get low. 6:21 to play. Collins around a couple of screens. Goes off the window. No good from right of the lane. Baycott pitch ahead to Trimble at the timeline. Doesn't have the number, so he'll slow it down. R.J. Davis ends up with it in the center jump circle. Carolina by 9, 81-72. Davis still cradling it out in the center jump circle area. Almost lost the dribbles, able to get it back. Drives, kicks, Ingram open for three, in and out. Baycott slaps the rebound to R.J. Davis. Heels will reset. Shot clock at 15. R.J. takes a look at his head coach Hubert Davis calling out the play. Orioles going kind of a 1-4 flat here as now Ingram comes up to set the screen. Davis, crossover against Couture. Step back. Boy, a really tough shot. Holy smokes, what a play by R.J. Davis. 4-3. ACC Player of the Year type of move there. Carolina up 12. Heels now 18 from R.J. Davis. Collins, hounded by Trimble. 5:11 to go. Shot clock down to 11 as well. Couture hands off in the post to Kidd. He's able to go for the reverse layup. Caught it on the left side, finished on the right. Kidd has 11 now, including 9 this half. 84-74. Carolina's lead is 10. R.J. Davis one-on-one with Couture. Spins by him, and he's going to be called for an offensive foul. Hubert Davis heavily disagreeing with the call. That's the third foul on Davis. Greg Evans saying that Davis hooked to get around Couture's defense. What do you think, Marcus?
Inadvertent contact. He absolutely elbowed him in the face. I hate that for him, but, I mean, I don't know what to do there.
84-74. Carolina by 10, but Virginia Tech with the basketball. Lynn Kidd has another foul called on Carolina. This one off the ball on Cormac Ryan. That's 3, and that's going to put Couture to the line for 2 shots. So these fouls are mounting. You have 3 now on Cadeau, Ryan, Davis, and Baycott. So that's 4 Tar Heels with 3 fouls, as Carolina's been called for 11 fouls this half. Meanwhile, for Virginia Tech, Barron, Kidd each have 4. Poteet has 3 as Couture makes the free throw. So you have 4 Hokies in double figures. You have 4 Tar Heels in double figures. Collins with 16. Actually, it's more than that for Virginia Tech. They actually have 6 players in double figures as Couture makes both free throws. 84-76. So Carolina got it out to 12. Virginia Tech gets it back down to 8. 4:33 to go. Both teams continue to shoot 50% or better in the second half. Trimble gets it on the bounce pass down to Baycott. Muscles through the defense for 2 more. Baycott up to 15 this half and 21 for the game. 86-76. Carolina by 10 with 4:15 to play. Nickel between the circles. To Kidd, back to the basket, left elbow. Trying to go into the paint against Baycott. Sends it into the corner, guarded 3, rattles out for Collins, rebound to Baycott. His 9th. R.J. Davis front side on the right, under 4 to go here in the Smith Center. Carolina by 10. Davis gets it to Baycott, immediate double team comes. Baycott dribbles out of it, long cross-court pass to Trimble is tipped out of bounds by M.J. Collins. And Carolina will have possession with 13 on the shot clock after this timeout. So the under 4 timeout. Heels with 3:45 to play, lead at 86-76, and they'll have the ball when we come back. Tar Heels by 10 from Learfield. .345 to play. Heels 86, Hokies 76. Carolina has the ball with 13 on the shot clock. Let's go through some of these relevant Lenovo stats. First, we'll tell you that the Heels have 3 timeouts. Tech has 1. Possession arrow belongs to Virginia Tech. Hokies are in the double bonus. Carolina still in the bonus with 8 fouls called on Tech. The individual numbers, Baycott with 21 points and 9 rebounds. It's the 7th time this year, 33rd time in his career that Baycott's had 20-plus. Davis has 18, Cormac Ryan 13, Harrison Ingram 11 points and 15 rebounds for his 9th double-double, 14th of his career. Virginia Tech has 6 players in double figures. M.J. Collins has 16 points, 15 for Poteet. Then you have 11 for Couture, Kidd, and Nickel, 10 for Sean Padula. And it will again be Carolina's basketball with 13 on the shot clock, 3:45 on the game clock. Marcus, Carolina comes out with Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, Baycott. Need a good look here with 13 on the clock.
I bet you can guess what I think they should do with it.
Yeah, maybe go inside. Baycott has 6 made field goals and 3 made free throws here in the second half to help accrue his 21 points. He'll get it into R.J. Davis. Shot clock down to 10 as Davis dribbles to the right wing. To Baycott, but outside the arc. He'll quickly get it to Ryan on the left side, to a rolling Baycott on the left. Powers in against Barron, tried to go up and under, couldn't score. Ingram gets the rebound, and he is fouled by Kidd, and that's the 5th on Lynn Kidd. Well, hold on. It is not on Lynn Kidd. It is on M.J. Collins. So, excuse me, the foul on Collins, his first. 9th on Tech, so a 1-and-1 for Ingram, who we told you has had struggles at the line. 3 of 3 today, but 10 of his last 25 before today. That is a line drive, but it goes in.
We'll take it.
It was flat, but found its way over the front of the rim, kind of hit the back right portion of the inside of the rim, and spun in. 87-76, second one up. That looked a lot better and didn't go in. Figure that as it popped out. But Ingram goes 1 of 2. Heels up 11. 87-76. Carolina 17 of 21 at the line. Virginia Tech's 18 of 20. Told you, these are 2 good free throw shooting teams. Couture gets free off the ball. Can't hit the 3. Rebound to Harrison Ingram. Virginia Tech has missed every 3 this half. R.J. Davis, front side. Carolina now in this spot. We saw him in a similar position in Miami. Ready to burn some clock, but still wants to play good basketball. Trimble down low to Baycott. That's good basketball as Baycott lays it home. Trimble with the assist from the left corner, passing it down low to the veteran big man. Carolina back up 13, 89-76. Hard drive by Collins, and he'll get the scoop in from left of the lane. 89-78 with 2:38 to go as R.J. Davis comes front side. Baycott up to 23 points now. Season high is 25. Davis will tick-tock the dribble between his hands in the center jump circle. Carolina again at this point of the game where they're trying to burn some clock but still get good shots. Up 11 with 2:20 to go. Davis splits a double team up high. He's going to go in, lost the ball. It got bounced off a Hokie, though. Davis just lost it. It wasn't stripped. He just lost it as he elevated, but fortunate that it bounced off Barron's leg on the way out. Heels have just 5 on the shot clock, though. 2:16 on the second half game clock. Trimble will be the inbound. Trimble still looking. Bounces it into Ryan. Ryan going to force one up against Tyler Nichols' defense. Can't get it. Rebound to Virginia Tech. Carolina up 11. They wanted a double dribble there from Collins in transition. Didn't get the call. The drive and dish to Poteet, but his shot blocked by Baycott. Baycott's chewing on his mouth guard, a little winded, but not too winded as he gets the big defensive block. It has been Baycott's game here in the second half. He's up to a double-double, his 13th of the year, including his 5th straight. 89-78. Shot clock down to 10 for R.J. Davis. He's doubled up on the right wing. Kicks it to Cormac Ryan. Open for 3. Long distance. Counted his 4th of the game. 92-78. Heels by 14. Collins going to drive right side. Stumbles. Elevates. Misses. Rebound Baycott. He'll protect it. And Carolina in good shape here. Got to get Hubert Davis reminding his team they've got to get front court before the 10-second violation, which they do. And now up 14 with 70 seconds to go. Virginia Tech has never gone away, but they just haven't been able to keep Carolina off the scoreboard. Davis drives by Couture, drops it off over his head to Baycott for the flush. Baycott ties his season high with 25-19 have come in the second half. What a pass by Davis, too. Nickel open for 3. No. Rebound tipped around. Virginia Tech recovers. Nickel will try again. That one's good. And Virginia Tech missed its first 10 attempts from 3 this half. But Nickel finally gets one to go. And it's 94-81. under a minute to go. Virginia Tech is not fouling. Tar Heels cannot run out the clock completely. There's about a 10 or 11 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Collins swiping at the ball as Davis dribbles near the timeline. Davis works around him, and now the foul is called. That'll put R.J. Davis to the line for 2 shots. And Marcus, this has been an impressive second half offense. I mean, Carolina's this half, 17 of 30. And a big reason why is Baycott has 8 field goals this half. This half is 8 of 11, and feels like all of them are layups, dunks, or strong hook shots on one quick move.
What we used to say, Jones, is let the big dog eat. And eating inside is what he has done this second half. Just been an absolute force in the paint. Scoring the basketball, rebounding the basketball. Great all-around effort.
Free throw good by R.J. Davis. Carolina, a 54-36 point in the paint advantage. A 42-31 rebounding advantage. And Baycott has 25 and 11. Ingram has 12 and 17. So those two players have a combined 28 rebounds as Davis makes both free throws. He is now 5 of 6 at the stripe. Carolina has a team 19 of 23. 96-81. Tar Heels by 15. Under 30 seconds to go. Collins on the drive, left it for Barron, and Barron's little push shot gets wedged between the rim and the backboard. That will count as a jump ball, and the arrow goes to the visitors. Hokies will have it with 12.9 to play. So Tar Heel's going to win their 20th game of the season, 64th time in Tar Heel history that they'll have 20 or more wins. Long inbounds goes out to MJ Collins. With 10 seconds left, he'll fire up the three. It spins out, and Baycott deservedly secures one more rebound. He'll kick it out to R.J. Davis. He'll dribble out the clock, and the Tar Heels, needing a big win, get home to the Smith Center, dominate in the paint, and carry that down-low domination to a 15-point win over the Hokies this afternoon. 96-81, the final score. Tar Heels, for the 64th time in school history, get 20 or more wins in a season. They improve to 20-6. Keep that first place mantle in the league. They're 12-3. Virginia Tech falls to 14-11 overall, 6-8 in ACC action.
We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition, presented by Modelo. This comes after the Tar Heels get a 96-81 victory over Virginia Tech in the Smith Center on Saturday afternoon. Tar Heels pick up their 20th win of the season, 64th time in Carolina history that the Heels have won 20 or more games in a year. Jones and Adam here with you. Soon you're going to hear from Hubert Davis and Armando Baycott. And Adam, good choice to talk to Baycott today. 25 points, 12 rebounds. He was a part of Carolina's domination down low. Heels end up with 54 points in the paint, plus 12 in the rebounding category, plus 8 in the second chance category. And that felt like that's where this game was decided. That and Carolina's quality defense on the perimeter, but particularly the Tar Heels flexing their muscles down low.
Yeah, I mean, when it's that version of Armando Baycott and Carolina shooting the way they shot, which was okay, 7 for 21 from 3, not fantastic, but better. The Tar Heels are really hard to guard, and Armando Baycott, Virginia Tech, tried to double-team him, and he successfully either passed out of it or just bowled right through it and scored anyway, and he was very, very good.
Adam, I mentioned the defense on the perimeter. Virginia Tech in the second half was 1 of 12 from three-point range. I believe it was the 11th three that they took that they finally made, and it was in the final minute of the game when the outcome was no longer in doubt. If I'm not mistaken, they started 6 of 11 from 3. That would mean they were 1 of their last 15 from behind the arc. Some of those were open shots that didn't go in, as happens in the game of basketball, but good to see Carolina's defense, at least statistically, bounce back a little bit after
Tuesday's game against Syracuse.
And to do it against statistically one of the best three-point shooting teams in the conference, that's not a bunch of bums. Virginia Tech, that's how they win, is by being efficient shooters, and Carolina was able to take them out of that and kind of give them some of their own medicine because the Tar Heels were so efficient offensively.
Yeah, Carolina ends up shooting 51.5% for the game, including a whopping 57% in the second half, where they were 17 of 30 from the field. That includes going 13 of 21 from two-point range. So above 60%, well above 60% from two-point range for Carolina in the game in the second half. Okay, I talked to Hubert Davis. Adam talked to Armando Bacot. Those 25 points for Armando tied a season high, the double-double. I believe it's the 5th consecutive double-double this year for Bacot. So we'll get to both of those interviews, come back, and wrap things up on the back half here on a Rapid Reactions edition of the Carolina Insider. We're inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner alongside the head coach of Carolina basketball, that, of course, Hubert Davis. Carolina wins it 96-81 over Virginia Tech. And, Coach, your team offensively from the start looked really good today, shot better than 50%. Seemed like a very heavy emphasis to get the ball down low, which you did very well. Your thoughts on today's win?
Yeah, we just, it's always been an emphasis for us to, attack and dominate points in the paint through post penetration, offensive rebounding. And I feel like over the last 2.5 weeks, there have been a number of times where we have gone away from that. You mentioned to me, and, for the last 5 games prior to today, we were shooting more threes than free throws. And, our ability to get to the basket, to score in the paint, to live at the free throw line is just huge for us offensively. And so I thought the post in terms of Armando was great. I thought the penetration of our guards, Elliott and RJ and Seth, getting the ball to the basket, and the offensive rebounds. Our guys, our 3, 4, and 5 were, if we didn't get it, we kept it alive. And I thought the activity on the offensive end was really good.
In the second half in particular, Armando was incredibly effective. What allowed him to be so effective in that second half?
His desire and his willingness to get low position. It takes hard work. You can call whatever play you want to. If the guy is not going to work hard to catch it where we need him to catch it in order to be able to score, it just doesn't work. And so for Armando, his positioning and where he was able to catch the ball resulted in him scoring or getting fouled. He nearly fouled out 2 of their bigs, and they just had no answer for him. And then something else, talk about the growth and especially things that go unnoticed. Armando, his ability to handle the double team has just gotten better and better. And this year, it's really good. This is something that he's worked really hard on. And when they started to double, he was able to make just the easy play, the right play, and be able to find guys out there on the perimeter. And so now, as well as he's handling the double team, now teams are going to have to say, do we want to leave RJ wide open, or do we want to double the post? And it's because of the growth of Armando, and I was really proud of him.
Armando finished 25 points, 12 rebounds, one of 2 Tar Heels. Harrison Ingram also had 12 points and 17 rebounds in this one. And just a stat to follow up what Coach was talking about, Tar Heels took 23 free throws today and 21 three-pointers, so more free throws than three-pointers today for Carolina. Coach, your bench was really good for you there in the month of January. It feels like it's been a tough couple of games for them, but today Jalen Withers was active, Jalen Washington was active, Seth Trimble back and healthy, great to see. Felt like they made an impact today.
They made a huge impact for us. Jay Witt, his activity, he kept balls alive. He ran down that in transition and got that block. I felt, the 2 practices before this, I just kept telling him, now that's what we can do. That's what you need to do all the time. And I just felt like his energy and his effort was just really good out there. You talked about Seth and Jay Wash. I thought they gave us really good minutes. Jay Wash was going up against some really big guys down low on the post, and so he had to battle and rebound and be able to score. And then, having somebody as good as Seth coming off the bench, that's just a huge benefit. A guy that's been there before in terms of experience, being a sophomore, his defense, his ability to penetrate, the plays that he made, skip passes, and he drove, being able to enter the ball down low to Armando is just huge. And so we got some really good minutes off the bench.
Two more things, Coach. Sean Padula and Hunter Couture, two great veteran players. They were 6 of 23 and 1 of 10 from three-point range.
Gone next year.
Couture is definitely done. Padula can hang around, but Couture is done. What would you guys do well against them in your mind?
Well, we made them work. Even full court dead ball situations. We didn't allow Padula to even get the ball, and so he had to work hard just to get it back because he's the guy. He has 98 assists. The next closest guy is 54. So he's the guy that starts and finishes the offense. So we wanted somebody else to start it and finish it, and that would be good news for us. And so we made him work. I thought we did a good job making Couture work as well. The movement off the ball of those two guys is elite. The way that they come off screens, use screens, it's just real, and it's very difficult to defend. And I felt like in the second half, they started to get downhill on us on those down screens and curls and Chicago actions. But for the most part, I thought we did a really good job against them.
Last thing, Coach, you guys finally get to this point where you don't have a midweek game this week, so you get a little bit of time to recover, to rest. Feels like this comes at a good time for your group.
We need it. We just do. It's been a good grind, but it's been a lot. Yeah. There's, was it 15 games and 8 of them we were on the road and traveling all over the place. And, Saturday, Tuesday games are difficult. And this week is a week for us to catch our breath. It's a week for us to get even healthier and rest our bodies. But it's also a week for us to practice. And we've been practicing, but we've been preparing for a game in practice. Now we get to practice, and so I think that's going to give us a great opportunity to tighten the screws on the little things that make big things happen, especially on the defensive end.
Tar Heels made big things happen today, beating Virginia Tech 96-81. Heels win 20 games in a season for the 64th time in Carolina basketball history. Coach, congratulations on the win, and look forward to talking with you this week.
All right, well, next week.
Next week. And you can't get away from me that fast, Coach, but we'll talk to him soon. That's the head coach of the Tar Heels, guys, inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
Alongside Armando Bacot after Carolina puts up 96 in a 15-point win over Virginia Tech. Felt like a really efficient offensive game. What'd you do well team-wise to get such good looks?
Well, our approach all week has just been trying to fix the small details that we haven't been working on the last few weeks. And I thought we did a great job today, and our approach was amazing, and everybody ate today, so it was a lot of fun.
What small details were better today?
Setting legal screens and just doing the little things like getting to the glass, boxing out, cutting, doing those small things to open up the offense for everybody.
Coach Davis has bragged on the way you've handled double teams here the last month or two. Virginia Tech eventually tried to double you, and you handled it really well. What are you doing better against that defense?
Just being patient and strong with it and taking my time. I think today I did a really great job of just finding shooters and finding guys. And, when I'm doing stuff like that and the guy's knocking it down, it just opens it up for me. You can't double me.
There were a couple times where they tried to double you and they still couldn't stop you, where you got the ball on the block and decided, I'm just going to score here. What happens in the flow of the game to make you decide this is the time I'm going to the rim?
Really just getting the feel of how they guard me and being quick and decisive. I think that's the main thing. When I hold it, that's when a lot of times troubles come. But when I just go, it works.
Been a lot of chatter this week. What's practice been like the last couple days as you try to just get back to the team that we saw this afternoon?
Intense and competitive, but that's the type of team we are. And when we have that competitive edge and that intenseness about us, it's hard to beat us.
They have been really competitive. Some 33s at stake. When there's a 33 at stake, how much incentive is that to win that part of practice?
Nobody wants to run, but I think it did a great job of carrying over to the game, just that competitive fire in practice. When you practice, you play how you practice.
Felt like this was the best overall game from the bench in a couple of weeks. When you get solid minutes from them and you only have to play maybe 30 instead of 34, what difference does that make in the final minutes?
It's great. We have more legs. It allows us to play harder throughout the game. And, it's great just seeing the bench guys go out there and get their confidence and go get buckets because they work so hard in practice, especially this week, too, with us mixing it up. I think it really helped the bench guys get in the flow.
This is a late part of the season to have this week off. How beneficial will it be to not have to play that midweek game, maybe rest some nagging injuries?
It'll be great for rest, but it'll also be great for us to address some of the problems and struggles that we've had. And, we got a great coaching staff, so it'll be a good week, and we'll definitely get better.
If you could address one thing individually this week, what would it be?
Get some rest.
If you could address one thing team-wise this week, what would it be? What's one thing you'd want to be better in Charlottesville on Saturday?
That's just tightening the screws defensively and also being smart, not turning the ball over because, playing against UVA with their slow offense, one turnover is like 3 turnovers against them.
That's good analysis from Armando Bacot right there. He's right. Tar Heels beat Virginia Tech today, 96-81. Mondo, thank you.
So Carolina maintains its first-place position in the ACC. The Tar Heels needed this win to do so, both Duke and Virginia, the teams that are right now battling Carolina for first place in the league. Both those teams won on Saturday, so the Tar Heels remain a half a game ahead of Duke and a full game ahead of Virginia. Of course, the Heels have road trips to both of those places coming up in the final 5 games of the regular season. Adam, I mentioned this in the conversation with Coach Davis, and I think maybe you and Armando Bacot talked somewhat about this subject too. Felt like some good production off the Carolina bench today as Washington, Withers, and Trimble combined for right around 39 minutes of action between the 3 of them. They combined for 15 points, 4 assists, no turnovers, a couple steals and blocks as well. And Washington and Withers each had 2 rebounds in the game too. So some productive minutes from the 3 top guys off the Tar Heel bench.
And felt like it was testament to you don't always have to get scoring from the bench for the bench to be effective.
Yeah.
Jalen Withers was just around the ball the whole time he was out there. That Jalen Withers is a difference maker in a close game. If you can bring that type of energy off the bench, that's huge. Jalen Washington really good. And then Seth Trimble, I think we all kind of think of him as this little offensive dynamo scoring-wise, driving to the basket. 4 assists and no turnovers, and that was big because Carolina got a little wary of Elliot Cadeau's turnover issues and decided to put Trimble in late, and he responded, ran the team well.
So Carolina again wins at 96-81 and do not have a game in the midweek. I thought Coach Davis seemed very happy with the fact that they had reached this point where he could have a little bit of time to rest individually as a team and also work together as a team. As now, Adam, final 5 games of the regular season. Good news is Carolina has 3 games at home. The difficult news is the 2 road trips are against the 2 teams that they're battling for first place. So huge stretch here coming up starting next Saturday in Charlottesville, a place the Heels haven't won since 2012.
Where else would you want to be with 5 games left, but you control whether or not you win the ACC regular season? This is where the Tar Heels would have wanted to be back in October, and now they've got a chance to do it. But first, they get to rest a little.
Yeah. Carolina wins at 96-81 over Virginia Tech. Thanks for joining us here on a rapid reactions edition of the Carolina Insider presented by Modelo.